say goodbye, no. Never gonna say goodbye, no.
Many miles away from home, steps were difficult, I'm exhausted, but I did not fall. Something good is coming. coming up. Free like a bird, but also louder. And my footsteps on the ground. I raise my head, listen to the sound. I'm happy with what I have found. Just breathe, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. No one ever told me how hard it's gonna be. My way is full of branches, like the roots of a tree. Where should I go from here? I need a good advice. The elders waiting for me at sunrise. I'm in the prison, open doors, 10 directions on the floor. I lose my mind, lose my sight. Tell me how I'm gonna win this fight. Just breathe, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe, just breathe. Take the courage, babe. Everybody breaks. This is not your fate. Avenue to take. 'Cause I would rather die than to live it out. You're being who I wanna be. Have you ever tried? 'Cause I would rather die. 'Cause I would rather die not being who I wanna be. Just 'cause I would rather die, 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 die. 'Cause I would rather die. Just breathe. Take the courage, babe. Everybody ready. 'Cause I would rather die, die. This is not your die, die. 'Cause I would rather die, die, die.
I don't wanna start it. Don't tell me where it is when I know it's not. Don't take it too hard, yeah. Your friend saying that she's not good enough, go on and burn that picture. Do what your mama taught ya, 'cause you fuck with danger. You fuck with the pretty faces coming back harder. Now I'm talking about me, nothing about you. Don't take it personally. I've got issues, big issues. Now what do you see? All that you want, I'm gonna have you. Take my word for it, babe. I'm coming back for you. Tell me how it feels, babe. Tell me how it feels when I touch your skin. How till it burns, babe. So I know when you feel what I feel. So go on and be the man that you want. I was way more than what you deserve. Your toxins run through me, my presence appealing. You don't have to tell me I'm downright crazy. Oh, nothing about me. Don't take it personally. You've got issues, big issues. Now what do you see? All that you want, you're gonna have you. Take my word for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. Back for it.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is, of course, Esports AcadArena Rivalries, and I'm, of course, Hyron. It's been so long since I've seen you guys, seen Code and Code, but of course, I am with Berserk, my very good friend. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Hyron? It has been a really long time.
Mm,
When was the last time that we were casting
I
together? I
don't
think
remember.
it's like months ago. Have
I
you
don't
been
remember.
enjoying your lockdown days, Mr.
Yes,
Hyron?
no. Yes and
Yes,
no.
no, yes,
Yeah, yes,
no.
no. Like of course, there's a lot more free time, but there's always this sense of losing progress and hopelessness. And I hope everyone out
Tugon.
there staying healthy, staying safe. Um, Hopefully, you're helping people that have trouble staying safe because of their circumstances. You're
Yeah.
helping those people as well. But that's beside the point. Today is esports AcadArena Rivalries, and we're going to be seeing two schools that have been a very prominent part of collegiate esports and esports AcadArena. You know, the University of Santo Tomas and FUIT, and they've each sent three teams to fight it out today in a relay best of five.
Yeah, and these three teams are actually not are
Yeah, they're
composed
not
of
their
players from
A team, right?
not
Yeah.
their main roster.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be really interesting to see how the players who aren't the players who aren't really committed as much to the esports competitive esports are gonna fare against each other. A lot of the players today are actually ranked diamond, not a lot of master and up tier players. So given that, um I'm kind of excited to see at what level they are compared to their
Actually, yeah,
counterparts of the main
that's
teams.
true. Especially since a lot of these players that we have today, as you've noted, um, they're in the lower years in terms of their age. Like we've got a lot of second years and first years. UST even has a couple of senior high school players, so there's definitely a lot of
Yeah.
young talent here that we can that the schools organizations can probably like hone as the years come by.
Yeah, and this is actually one of the thrusts that um, esports Acad Arena tries to push for. No,
Mhm.
usually we really do want to give highlight to the sense of competition that esports drives, and this is one of the ways that we can do that. It's not just it could be possible that the school could field more than one team, more than two teams. And in this case, there are actually three teams for each school participating in rivalries. And I think it's great. I think it's great that so many students are given a chance to showcase their skills, and like give be given an avenue to let their competitive spirit thrive.
Yeah, and it also gives like the organizations like if these players, of course, they've screened them first, recruited them, but in these games where they're facing off against another school, this gives these organizations a good chance to look at what potential their younger members could have, and that really allows them to decide okay, who are the players that we want to really focus on and invest in, or really which players do we see a future in our org once our main roster graduates, once circumstances may not allow them to play anymore, etc. And definitely FUIT and UST. These are organizations that really plan ahead, as you've noted, Mike. I mean, for Zerk, and I think that's a really good thing to for these organizations. And yeah, like we've said, they've sent three teams, and the format for today is actually like a best of three relay, where it
Yeah,
is a rather best of five
best of
relay.
five. Yeah, best of five.
So there will be 3 to 5 games, and each game, at least the first three games, they will each have to be a different team playing. So FUIT has Team B, Team D, and Team LECs. I think that's how you pronounce it. Meanwhile, the UST Teletigers have Team Haze, Mist, and Smoke. So they, the Teletigers really have this theme naming for uh,
Yeah.
their sub teams.
Mukhang mahilig sila sa Cloud Drake. Tingnan natin kung
Vape
well,
Nation, y'all.
vape. Oh. But
uh,
yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of curious, like, Oh, you mentioned
Mhm.
the team names on the side of FIT, iTamaraws or Team B, Team D, and LECs. San ba na punta yung Team C? I'm kind of
Maybe it's
wondering. I
Team
mean,
LECs.
LECs. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Is that how you
That's
pronounce it?
What's the alternative pronunciation? But yeah, I
Uh,
mean, uh, going back to what you were saying, too, you were talking about how there has to be some sort of screening for all of these
mhm.
players, no, and I think it's really important
Oh, it's
to let
LIC.
everyone know that LICs, LICs.
Oh, it's
Okay,
still
thanks for
C's.
that. LICs. All right, so
Yeah, so you're
yeah,
saying?
for for screening, most people the first thing that comes to mind rather when we screen players for campus esports, ano ba yung rank ng
Mm.
player, diba?
Like that's
Usually
the first thing that
yung
you look at.
that's the first thing. But being an ex collegiate player myself, and currently I'm actually the coach of LG Esports, I think it's very important to also determine how aligned a player's values are with
Mhm.
the team, yung priorities niya rin. You mentioned this too, like ano ba yung priority ng player after graduating, pero in this case ipapasok ba lang siya, ano yung priority niya, if ever ma-recruit siya, what sort of commitment can this player offer?
Is
And
this a player that can
yeah,
leave something for future members of the organization? Stuff like
yeah,
that.
that's true. So there are a lot of things to consider, not just the
Yeah.
rank. And I think
'Cause-
it's a smart way to approach the development of your competitive esports organization talaga. So you can make sure that more or less everyone part of your organization is somewhat aligned with each other.
They at least have to be on the same page or somewhere close
Yeah.
because the starting rank is just where you start, diba?
Yeah.
Like if you recruit someone who's challenger but their mindset isn't in the right place, their goals are different from what the team wants in the long term, then you're gonna have much less success than training someone who starts at like diamond or low diamond but has the right mindset, is constantly improving, and basically is willing to uh, do his best not just for himself but also for the team, the organization, and the community that he finds himself.
Yeah, that's true. And again, this is great. This is again esports AcadArena Rivalries, and
Mhm.
for those who just tuned in right now, this is again a best of 5 series featuring three teams from FIT Tamaraws as well as UST Teletigers. And again, these guys are not the players who are part of their main roster, so we'll get to see what sort of talent is hiding
Sizzle.
behind the curtains, no?
Yeah,
And
and I think since the first game is going to be Team D versus Team Mist, Team D from FUIT versus Mist from UST Teletigers. I'm really excited to see how everything's going to be playing out because most of these players I personally don't recognize. So
mhm.
seeing how well they play in this like inter-school um, match, and these inter-school matches was definitely giving us a good idea of what to expect in their future in the organization. So, are we?
Yeah. I think right now we're actually in the pick and ban
Oh, okay.
already,
There we go. I
Hyra.
have this.
So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I forgot. Since we're we're at home, I can just tab into the stream and see if we're there. But yeah, going into the pick and bans. First up, bans against Team Mist. Uh, It's going to be Ezreal, Graves, and Echo. As for uh, against Team D, it's going to be banning the Syndra, Trundle, and the Nautilus.
Yeah, these bans are actually pretty streamlined. I would say Graves for sure is
Mhm.
a targeted meta ban. He's really
Yeah,
strong right now.
quite
Syndra as
quite a
well,
small adjustment.
Nautilus. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Seth being first pick, actually, I mean that's a flex. Right now, he can be flex support top, and
Though the
I've
Thresh
even
does kind
seen
of betray that.
yeah, but yeah, that's true. So I guess that set is going top, but we'll have to see because I've also seen set mid, but it's pretty rare, I
Yeah,
would say. And on
it's,
the
I think
other
that's
hand,
way more rare.
I have seen Yumi being picked in the recent what do you call that? What was this third bet
Which one?
where the what should have it sounds like MSI. What was it?
Was this a mid-season cup?
Yeah. Mid season cup. So nilalabas na yung Yumi dito, and I'm not surprised that players are also picking her up. I mean, that's a thing, no. These players, they're not just looking at their comfort picks. There's so many resources available online for them to scout well researched picks and most used picks
Yeah,
in
like there's a
professional
reason why
leagues.
some picks are more
Yeah.
popular than others. Usually because a patch favors them in terms of power, or maybe it's just the meta of the comps. And of course, this is the virus is going to be banned away. These all of these seem to be pretty standard um, bans, and that really shows us that these teams, or at least these two teams that we're seeing right now, Team D and Team Mist, uh, they're thinking about not just like you said, not just their comfort picks, but also uh, what's strong in the meta, what works. Aphelios is going to be locked in, and for the past few patches, Aphelios has really been a target of nerfs, but still a very popular pick in terms of like higher level play.
Yeah, it's true. And Aphelios Yumi, I have seen this in competitive play, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to how that delivers in the bot lane. Kaisa Thresh as well. Kaisa right now, for anyone who has been off touch with the meta, popular build right now is Hail of Blades, so she can
Mm-hmm.
proc faster her stacks. Before it was press the attack. You really see that a lot, but
Yeah.
uh players are gravitating towards that faster proc these days. And looks like we're going to see the last picks coming in for both teams. It's going to be that Rek'Sai secure for the jungle on the side of
Ooh.
FIT. Very interesting here.
Yeah, let's
Let's
see what the
we
last pick here will be for Team Miss, because that will really round off the comp that they've had, that they've drafted so far. Uh,
yeah, that
like,
is true.
yeah, I mean they
And
will have pretty good team fight just because of the Kiana, Gragas, and Helio. The Wukong
ooh,
will give
I
them a
really
lot
like
of tools as well.
the Wukong pick because without the four picks that UST had secured prior to the Wukong, it's only really there's not a lot of hard engage aside from using flash combos, I guess, from the Gragas as well. Well, the Kiana actually, I kind of take what I said back.
Hmm.
Kiana, if she's able to flank really well, can set up can set up a really good fight. But that Wukong really gives much more flexibility to the team of UST here in terms of starting fights out. While on the side of FIT, I would say it's gonna come down to how good Oriana ults are gonna come out.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be extremely crucial. Uh, Considering that like the Rek'Sai, the Thresh, the Set, they really thrive in these environments where the enemy is all bunched up together. They will have the best way to get their all-ins, get their engages from that. But looking at UST's composition, yeah, I really like the flexibility. They do have uh, disengage in the form of Gragas. They have a lot of CC, Aphelios as well. Um, in the hands of Tenebria, who I think is the only challenger on the UST's roster
Yeah, he
for
is
today.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the only challenger. And actually, a while back we were supposed to actually see a mist. This UST UST team you currently are seeing go against Team B of FIT iTamaraws, but we had a roster switch. I mean, a team switch coming in due to some technical difficulties. It would have been the only team with a challenger player from the side of FIT going against the only team with a challenger player
Yeah,
on the side of
that would
UST.
be
But
set right from Team B. Team B.
yeah, see, set, yeah,
But yeah, in the
obviously a
hands
set
of a
win.
very skilled player, one in challenger tier, and one who has the backing of an organization like UST Teletigers, this Aphelios is going to be extremely scary. Once those fights starts, he will have a lot of uh, as long as the rest of his team plays to the strength of the comp, they will have a lot of time, a lot of free time to get Aphelios' strengths going. Because Wukong, Gragas, Kiana, Yumi, if they can get a fight in an enclosed space where they control the territory, it's going to be so good for Aphelios, no matter what weapon set that Tenebria has. As for uh, Team D, however, from FUIT, this can get pretty scary. They do have the Kaisa um, and the Oriana, and the longer the game goes, this Kaisa is just going to keep uh, gaining strength, especially if he's properly protected here by Thresh.
Yeah, that is true. And you were talking just a moment ago about how strong Aphelios is when it comes to his scaling and when it reaches the late game, no. But I'm kinda concerned right now. The thing with the comp of Mystier that they kinda have to look out for is wala silang frontline.
Mm,
And I feel that they're going to have to play team fights flanking a lot.
yeah, that's true.
Um, yeah, because this Aphelios is going to get Diven Dove
Yeah,
by Set and Rek'Sai on the side of FIT. What's Yumi going to do about it? Not
not
much.
much, even with
So
Jinx. Yeah,
yeah,
not much, even with the ulti.
so I kind of have to see how well Tenebria positions here, as the Aphelios, and as we know, Aphelios does not have
Not have any
any
mobility
dashes.
to
Yeah, wala siyang
actually
mobility, so that's gonna
looking
be very challenging for
looking a
him.
second time at Team D's composition. They have Rek'Sai, they have Kaisa, they have Thresh, and they have Set. Well, these are champions that have an easier time following up on one of their allies' initiations, right? So
Yeah.
they have the Rek'Sai, of course. The ulti comes in. The recently buffed Kaisa ulti, the range is
Mm-hmm.
also huge since I think recently they basically doubled the range at which you can cast Killer Instinct, which
Yeah, they
means
added a lot.
yeah, like from 1,500 to 2,500 up to a maximum of 3,000, I think, and 3,000 range. That's huge. That basically means that uh, at least if there's a fight happening, say from Dragon Pit or Baron Pit, you could easily you can easily respond to that from quite a ways away, as long as you have access to Killer Instinct. Thresh as well with the Lantern could really enable Set as well to get in. So Tenebria really needs to be careful here because he's going to be the prime target to take out. And if and they will want to be the ones to take initiative. They want to be the ones that are flanking. But if Team D gets that right, like gets the initiation right, where they pick someone off since they're all decently mobile, uh, they can sneak in some really good wins here. But of course, I think we've loaded onto the Rift here for our first game for our best of 5 relay today in AcadArena Rivalries. This is Team D from FEUIT iTamaraws versus UST Teletigers Esports Club's Team Mist.
Yeah, and as we see right now, not even a minute has passed yet. I think both teams are just happy to put down some early vision. I think both of their wards are actually placed in that
Mm-hmm.
pixel brush in the river. So not
That's
much
right.
information gained right now, but we do see that both junglers have recalled and have both picked up uh the red trinket. No, maybe I'm thinking, if are they gonna no, I don't think they're gonna have time to actually go to the river and clear off that ward. But this is something we've noticed in the current meta, that junglers really do prefer to put down an early ward and then go base and pick up a red sweeper trinket.
Mhm. Especially with junglers wanting to be strong early. Uh, that ability to clear out vision could really help out not just the junglers themselves but the lanes. And looking at this, the Wukong and the set lanes, rather the solo lanes specifically, these are lanes that really would want to shine. And or this Orianna, of course, useful in all stages of the game, not super goal dependent, but it would still help to mitigate the ability of Kazekage here from UST uh, to make this mid lane a living hell for Oide.
Yeah, that is true. And something I actually noticed a while back, talking about the as I say that though,
Ooh,
the
I
decent
think it's just a
trading coming
brand
in.
two trades here, but I
Yeah,
think
Tyler.
Illuminous does have a little bit of sustain here, has the shield, has the biscuits. He should be able to last a little longer in this top lane, but the hook is going to come through against Tenebria. Lots of damage coming through from the Kaisa, but and the exhaust is also burned, but that is only going to put him around below half HP, and since he has Severum and the Yumi support, is just going to heal that back up easily.
Yeah, I have to give it to Kyoto Junkie over here as is this an all-in a top lane?
Might
You
be an
have to
all
see
in
it.
here, but it is going to be Senor here going in for the gank to try and take out this monkey. Illuminous going for the Nimbus Strike to try and escape. However, he overextends and he gets taken down for first blood. Team D.
Wow, that was a really good bait there coming in from Tyler, really baiting out that all-in, flashing just in the nick of time, and also Senior arriving right away to secure that kill. But going back to this bot lane, Kyoto Junkie is coming in,
Yeah, so
but
much damage. And
Gragas,
here
ooh,
comes Alias. Does not hit the body slam flash, and the hook does not hit as well. So this is going to be disengaged for FUIT's Team D as Aeolus here looks to maybe clear something at the bottom side. They know that the Rek'Sai was top side, but it doesn't seem like he has anything just yet to steal.
yeah, and I like this pathing coming in from Senior here. Still converging towards the top side of the map. He knows that Illuminous does not have flash, and I like that he's looking to punish that situation. Given that right now there's a freeze on the top lane, and you can see on the minimap, Illuminous actually decided to ward the river, but that's not where Senior is gonna come from.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be extremely difficult here. Of course, Wukong does have a couple tools to try and escape, but it's still gonna be very difficult if he doesn't know that it's coming. I think he has a small idea, but even if he is invisible, Senior will sniff him out. They are in pursuit. Aeolus, they're getting called in to help here. This could be good for UST. However, the monkey gets caught, and he is in the bag at this point as Senior takes him down in Oide and Aeolus, unfortunately, were not able to get there in time.
Yeah, and although Wukong will always the kit that Wukong has, it's always gonna be useful to knockups coming from the ult. You don't really want to see your Wukong go 0-2 at at the five
Especially
minute
against the
mark.
set.
Yeah, especially against the set which also has his own form of carry potential. We'll have to see what sort of item build he chooses to spec because he can go straight into Triforce, he can go Black Cleaver, he can go even Bork.
I think this is
So
a good time for him to back. He's shoved wave quite a
yeah,
lot here, and he's going to come back with pretty big items here, and Illuminous will have to just play it safe for a while now that he has a
yeah,
little bit of breathing room.
yeah, it's true. I mean, that's some decent cash in. That Bramble Vest getting picked up by
Oh,
Tyler here, really trying to say, I'm going to put my foot down. You can't do anything to me if you try and hit me. Okay, I'm still gonna win the trade. And meanwhile, though, Ilius is actually here, hovering on the Dragon Pit. I'm not really sure if he's gonna be taking it, but let's see what he can do. He stands CS up. His
they
bot
are
lane
trying to do it. It's
straight.
already
Yeah,
halfway down. I think Senor knows. Yeah, they definitely know
yeah,
here.
but it's too
Unfortunately, I
late.
don't think they can do anything about it. So first break here goes to UST.
Yeah, this is good on Aelius' part. He recognized that okay, top side is kind of getting dominated at this early stage of the game. Let's see if I can do something at bot. And kudos to him, he was able to secure that first Drake for his team. And we also do see that Aphelios has generated a 15 CS lead at bot lane, so that is something. But that okay, and
Ooh, that hook still
oh, that
goes.
hook though,
He's gonna have
wow.
a lot of trouble here as the ultimate from the Oriana still goes through. Kazekage needed to use everything um, in his arsenal there. He still has his flash, his ignite, but still, that burned his ultimate.
Yeah, and good patience actually being demonstrated by Kazekage here. He was very calm. He didn't blow his flash. He knew that he could get away without blowing his flash. So that's what he did. Usually, I mean, in those sorts of situations, sometimes players, especially new ones, lose composure, and we have to take note that these guys again aren't part of the main roster. So seeing this level of composure, it's impressive for me.
Mhm. After all, even though they aren't the A team, they are still like way higher in rank than the average League of Legends player, and they do still have like they're still part of that organization that's helping them grow, and that's definitely a privilege that a lot of mid-level league players don't have. So yeah, I'm really impressed with uh, how Kazekage handled that situation. Uh, since he still has his flash, it's definitely gonna help him out later.
Yeah, that is true. Although bot
CS
lane
lead.
situation is kind of ballooning.
Yeah,
We did see a while ago that Kyoto Junkie was able to land a really early hook, burning 3 summoners. But right now, I don't think that lead was really generated from that. In fact,
yeah.
the opposite happened.
Since leaving your AD carry alone against Aphelios Yumi is just a
Ooh.
recipe for disaster here. They can't take that fight. Uh, but yeah, since he Kyoto Junkie here took the gamble, maybe we can get a lead or relieve some pressure mid lane. Uh, that just opened up Boy Wonder to constant harassment from Tenebria and Lanfair.
Yeah, that's true. And the opposite actually is happening on the top side, which is actually really expected naman because Rek'Sai did pull off 2 really good ganks on the top lane, really securing the position of Set. Meanwhile, Kazekage going in decides not to pull the trigger there. I think he wouldn't be able to burst Oida there. He does have barrier up, so that's one thing. Meanwhile, Senior is now on the bot side, and both junglers are actually converging on the
They
bot
want to
side.
make something happen.
Meanwhile, ooh,
A lot of things happening, but it is going to be the death sentence coming in. Both ultis from the bot laners will come through, and Senior gets taken down by their combined force. Kyoto Junkie and Boy Wonder can only watch as their jungler gets killed.
yeah, and they only just top lane now. That damage is this, and bear in mind this set is only on Bramble Vest. There's no damage item there, but that W, uh, it's starting. I feel how oppressive it is. Like if I were Illuminous right now, I'd be so I'd be kind of, how do you
Constant
say
state
it?
of Monk
Yeah,
S.
a constant state of Fonka is. That's
Yeah,
a really good way to put it.
but does that not capture the essence of what you were trying to say, though?
It does capture the exact essence. I mean, how can it not?
Yeah, especially with Senior always breathing down Illuminous' neck. He can only watch uh, as Tyler just exerts a lot of pressure here in this top side.
Yeah, that's true. But Aeolus, as the jungler of Mist, is doing a good job too. I'm not sure if he was able to sniff that gank out at the bot lane a while ago. I don't know if that was intended to be a counter gank, but if it was, kudos to him. They actually got a kill for themselves in that regard. So it's great. But approaching the 11-minute mark, looking at the goal state of everyone, so top lane for sure it's on set. But here, Kazekage dashing
Fight
in,
here
but
for
he looked
Kazekage.
to actually lose out on that trade, and they
But
do
no,
spot out.
Aeolius was there for the backup in case that Oide wanted to go scrap
Think
that out.
Yeah, pings coming down on the Drake too. I think that Mist really wants to get this second Drake, posture themselves to take
Really,
the
really
third
rushing
Drake
it
down
down
too.
here, but I think Team D is poised to try and take it as well. 1,000 health on it, but it
Ooh.
does get cured by Alias.
Okay, Smite Lord Iolius, very good. He didn't lose. He didn't lose the
Pro
Smite
Senor
War
was in
too.
there.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, he does use this opportunity to try and take Rift Herald, which could actually give them an opening in this game. Like so far, aside from their bot lane, they're generating a pretty decent lead. If they can use this Rift Herald to open the map up for one of their solo laners, that could be huge in building up their momentum this game.
Yeah, that's true. And we'll have to see which lane Senior actually decides to path to. We do know that top has been exerting so much pressure here on Illumina, so it seems that he's posturing bot side instead. We'll have to see where he pops that rift. Maybe not anytime soon. I think he might want to do go for a recall after his Krugs, but yeah, the gold right now 1k up for the side of FUIT. But still Aphelios, he has that one kill. He already has his IE going for him. He's 30 CS up on the Kaisa.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
really where you need to pay attention to. Like,
mhm.
and the opposite ends of the map here, Luminous is getting bullied, forced to build into that Ninja Tabi and the Gem Scepter just so he can
Ooh,
stay in lane a little bit longer. Um, however, I think for this, Team D from FUIT really needs to press their advantage topside because if Tenebria is left to his own devices in this bot lane, they're gonna have a huge problem in their hands later, no matter how behind Illuminus and Kazekage is. Because as long as Illuminus can get two knockups, leaving Tenebria with enough time to like deal his damage, he's basically done his purpose, right?
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Hyron. I think that top lane is the way to go, especially because, like you said, this set is just really big right now. Let's push that lane.
I think
And this is actually how you want to be playing League of
they're
Legends
sending
early.
three
Just,
people topside here.
yeah, they
Illumina in
are.
a little bit of trouble, or at least his turret is. I think
Yeah,
he smells what's coming.
fortunately, the Wukong changes allows Illuminus to just get out of that
But this is
safely.
gonna be the turret.
But yeah,
Potentially the inner turret as well, if this
yeah,
doesn't
we
get a
have to see,
response.
and we do see a counter rotation here coming in from Mist converging onto the mid lane, but it's still full HP, and that's gonna buy a lot of time for FIT here,
Yeah,
and
Kyoto
Kyoto Junkie is
Junkie
actually here
exerting a
to
lot of threat here, pushing them
yeah.
away. Even though we didn't actually have anyone backing him
I
up
mean,
there.
yeah, I think he threw out the lantern bait right there,
Yeah,
like pretending someone would come in, but
UST did
eh,
not call that bluff. Well played
yeah,
there by Kyoto Junkie.
well played there, and they do say, oh,
Kazekage, though, like the wind, like the shadows, he goes in. He could be taking on Boy Wonder here, but his support is there to help him out. Kazekage so close, burning his ignite as
so
well.
close. That's true. That was a really good find, honestly, by Kazekage. And I think this is what UST Mist should be doing right now. We were talking about flanking, how their team kind of wants to be taking advantage of how well flanks are. And I think Kazekage right now with this Tiamat, with this um uh what is this item called? The Dirk, the serrated
Great.
Dirk coming
Yeah,
in. Yeah, I think he's poised and ready to do just that.
yeah, that's
Every
why his
time
movement
his
is
yeah, every time his ult comes off cooldown, he should, and I expect him to be looking for these pickoffs around the map.
and it is a target-rich environment. They do have Oida, they do have Boy Wonder. Either are legitimate targets for this assassin. Just has to really decide if he can go in and burn, if not kill them, at least burn the resources. Like there, Boy Wonder is forced to use his heal. Unfortunately for UST, the flash itself was not burned, so it is going to be a little bit harder still to take down Boy Wonder without a really good flank from UST.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, as long as this game gets stalled out, even though Aphelios is really such a huge threat later on in the late game in terms of front to back, I think I have to give it to the team comp of FEUIT here,
Same.
but they do
And that
have
sentence is going to come
oh,
through, and I think this is a dead Aeolus here. Very unfortunate, especially since Drake is going to come up very soon. Not a lot of health taken away from the members of FUIT, so I think this means that the mid lane will be the target here for UST. Let's see if they can push it in before this Cloud Drake gets destroyed.
yeah.
Very fast here.
I have to say, this is such a huge momentum swing in favor of FEUIT, in favor of Team D, because UST missed. They invested their resources into securing two early drakes. If they're not able to secure the third one, that kind of takes away one of their, I would say, semi-win conditions to secure that soul.
Because
It delays that a lot. So, and I
not
have to
getting
give it to.
means you basically delay a potential Elder Drake from you
Mhm.
by like 3.5 minutes. And
Yeah,
that could mean the difference between being able to close out a game and losing all momentum entirely here. But it is going to be the showstopper coming in to the wall. Is going to get taken down. Tyler is fighting for his life here. Kazekage in pursuit. Here comes Illuminous late to the party, but this does give them a pretty good position here in this bot lane.
I don't think Tyler expected the Julius to be waiting around the corner there. But fortunately for Vis, that does relieve a bit of pressure for them. And it's good. They're making proactive plays like this, like this. But yeah, 2K gold lead right now, 18 minutes in favor of FEUIT. I need to keep. I'm going back to this again and again because every time I look at the bot lane CS,
It
kanina it
just keeps
was
getting bigger.
yeah yeah it's like exponential yung gap, and usually the case is it kind of maintains the gap. It's like 30 CS, I guess, sure, and then over time it's still 30 CS, but no, it's actually getting wider and wider. And again, Kyoto Junkie with these hooks, man, have been landing. He's been really on point with these
He's been
thresholds.
exerting a lot of pressure onto the other team. Like the hooks, just have you just can't take the risk. Uh, if he has his lantern ready, if he's posing for a for a hook, you just can't challenge that at this point in the game here, unless they have Tenebria's help or Kazukage gets like a really good flank here. Another hook, not too consequential, but this is gonna be another Rift Herald in the hands of FUIT, and they might want to they might be looking to open up the map here if they can get a
Ouch.
good position in this mid lane. But yeah, Tenebria, uh, most of the fights that UST has been, well, I wouldn't say losing, but like not winning, is when Tenebria is not able to get any of his input. Like the time where Aelius got picked off, Tenebria couldn't deal any damage, and he's had to back off with Drake. But if Tenebria, with his 212
And
CS,
that's pro level CS
yeah,
right there.
at 19 minutes and 45 seconds, that's super high.
I
But
know.
if they get into a fight where Tenebria is able to put out his damage, then it's gonna be just hell for uh, for FUIT, and that's why they really need to all in on that advantage of this composition. Like uh, they have, it's gonna be an initiation onto the
Ooh.
mid laner here. Oide is gonna get taken down. Kazekage entering into the tower range here, taking a lot of damage with the support of his team. Though they get 2 kills, no minion wave, cannot quite push in, but that is huge here, closing the gold, almost closing the gold gap entirely.
Yeah,
Response
and
is the bot lane rift here.
yeah, and the game is gonna open up right now. The mid lane tower is about to go down, and I feel I feel that I mean that was a really good play. Wider right there, I don't think he didn't give the respect that was needed against the Gragas, against the Gravitum getting proc. And good job by UST to pounce on that opportunity right there.
Hmm. And yeah, that was just really good pouncing at that advantage that they can make for themselves. That's really what the composition is supposed to be. Um, That's really how they're supposed to play this composition here. And like I said, FUIT, they don't want to face off. Of course, they don't want to get flanked by UST, but they also don't want to take any straight up fights. Both of these teams, uh, they want to uh, play around not getting a full 5v5. At least in this stage of the game, we're still vying for control over the reins of the game. Like, if FUIT, like I said, with their mobility, get a detached uh, or an out of position member of UST, they can easily pick off the rest of the members after that. On the flip side, as we've been reiterating, UST really needs to be able to flank with their assassins, with their knockups, and if they can do that, then it's easy pickings here for a UST. But of course, they do still have a lot of safety, especially with Precious Peel, with Boy Wonder's Killer Instinct, allowing him to go from one side of the fight to the next, or go to a safer side of the battle. It's definitely very important that they play to these strengths of their comps.
Yeah, that is true, and I feel that this game right now is still a toss up. It hasn't really been decided which team is going to be like dominating one sided, and which team has to like back off and probably sacrifice some some objectives, no, and both plays do have their bag of tricks that they're ready to use, and it's kind of neck and neck right now, even though there is a gold lead being seen.
Mhm. I think uh, I think the next big thing, since we are approaching the we are already past the 20-minute mark. I think the next big objective here is going to be the next Drake. It's just way too important to pass up here, because once if UST gets the third Drake or their third Drake, then they're so much closer to getting Elder, and of course, obviously that's not something that FUIT wants them, and that's why this next Drake is going to be pivotal. I don't think they're at the point where they can take down Baron that easily, especially since Boy Wonder is really behind in terms of items.
Yeah, that
There's a
that is true,
saying.
Hyron, and right now I feel that I think both teams just really need to play to their strengths. Uh, Again, I want to reiterate the side of UST. They have to find these flanks. They have to find these pickoffs using this Kiana. They have to play team fight smart using this Aphelios. He has to position really well, making sure that he does not get approached by Set and by Rek'Sai. On the side of FIT, however, the Oriana ults really need to come through for them. Set needs to. I think Set needs to be able to push this Wukong away if ever Wukong decides
Mhm.
to engage deep. He has to use his ult for that, and it's pretty straightforward from there, front to back. So I think in terms of difficulty of execution, it's gonna be in favor of UST to really push through with that.
Mhm. Um, yeah, I think this is a difficult spot for both of these teams, especially since the way that they've drafted. Uh, they can't just do a full-on 5v5, since that's not optimal for them. Of course, it's a little bit better. Or rather, there is an opportunity for both of these teams to 5v5 once they've secured the lead. But while they're still vying for control, they really need to go for different angles other than the head-on attack, because it's just way too risky for them, even though it's possible or viable for them to go for a 5v5. It's just way too dangerous at this point to go for that.
Yeah, and again, everyone who actually just tuned in right now, this is again Esports AcadArena Rift Rivals, and the two teams featured right now are FITI, iTamaraws, and UST Teletigers. It's a best of five,
Yeah, but
and
it's also a relay.
it's a
So
relay,
yeah, so like we said,
esports
the
relay.
scores will be kept, but each round or each game, the teams will be different. If we ever get to a point where it's 2-2, the fourth and fifth games will be played by one of the different teams as well, from within that pool of three. But of course, I think, for Zerk and I are facing a couple of technical difficulties. I don't know if you guys are still seeing the game. I think, let me go check. Okay, let me go check right now. So, actually, it seems like a lot of action has happened since we've. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of action has happened since we last seen the game. But so far, it does seem like, two Cloud Drakes on the side of FUIT. So actually, they were able to stop a little bit the momentum of UST, and that now the game is a little bit more on their side. Of course, Tenebria still has a crap ton of CS. He has almost 300 at 27 minutes. That's whack. Let me. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, like Hyron said, 300 CS right now on this Aphelios. That's really scary, and I mean, it's going to be hard. Even though I did say front to back should be the strategy for the side of FIT. I mean, if they're just going to be shredded by this Aphelios, then I think that Senior here and as well as this set have to look for flanks of their own, just because this Aphelios is so big and they do have to get to him right away.
Yeah, that's really the difficult part. And that does leave with FUIT with very, very difficult options here. But of course, third Drake. I actually don't know how long the delay is between the game itself that we're seeing on stream and the game that we're supposed to be seeing on the feed. But from the looks of it, this is a really good team fight here for FUIT at first, but then Tenebria dealing so much damage, just cleans it up, completely stopping the momentum of FUIT. Damn.
Yeah, and this what we're talking about right now is that team fight that happened at 28.
Drake. Yeah.
Yeah, Drake. In for Kazekage here. 12,
That's
12,
huge.
12, 13, 12.
That's huge.
after this.
That's just gonna make him better at killing things. The Tenebria maybe has softened up, or maybe softening them up for Tenebria. And okay, there we go. Our
there we go.
Again. There we go. Nice. So we're approaching 30 minutes, and this is about time where Baron is a real thing that you have to worry about. But neither of these teams can't really start it in a vacuum. Like they would need, of course, they need to set up the lanes and stuff, but they can't. It would be risky to be the ones who pull the trigger on the Baron, because both of these teams have really, really good disruption. They've got this. You got a Cyclone. The Baron is just like a juicy spot for the Kiana ulti.
Yeah, and
They just really need to apply a lot of pressure here, so that they can take this or get a pick. Actually, that's the ideal situation.
yeah, you're right. And on the flip side, Baron's not the only thing that they have to worry about. On the side of FUIT here, Team T, they have to worry about UST securing this Dragon Soul. I mean, reduced cooldown on ultimates on Wukong, Gragas, Kiana, Aphelios, Yumi. That's gonna
That's
be
whack.
really hard to deal with if it does go to them, if the soul does go to the side of Mist. But right now, it's neck and neck. 2k gold lead is not as significant as it could be, since it's already 31 minutes
However,
in.
it's really the concentration of the gold where things get muddled. But of course, it's going to be a fight here. Monkey versus Furry. Who's going to win here? Of course,
Oof.
the fact that it gets tagged in. Aeolus gonna try and help out his buddy here, but this is Tyler dealt a lot of damage there against two targets. That should have made Ilya sweat a bit, but with enough outplaying, the kill does go to UST.
Yeah, good play right there, fighting that. Pick onto. I was gonna say pick onto the furry, but pick onto the set. Pick onto the set here at bot side, and this relieves some pressure, allowing Tenebria to actually go in and play up and take down this mid lane tier 2 tower. Ping
Yeah.
coming in for Baron. I think they want to try to secure some vision there. We do see that the rewards on the side of UST not that concentrated around that area, and I think that's the next goal.
hmm they will be pivoting all of their vision there uh, before Elder Drake is up. But yeah, even if the gold is neck and neck, just because of where it's concentrated, Tenebria he's ahead of the curve in terms of CS here, and that really is going to be the deciding factor. Oide does have a lot of CS as well. However, despite being a key piece in the puzzle here for FUIT, the impact across the team fight is not as much as Tenebria. But if Oide can get a really good initial volley of his spells and like a really good shockwave, then that's really where things will go in the favor of FUIT. But Tenebria just has way more consistent ways of putting out his damage uh, in the start of the team fight.
Yeah, and I have to say, all coming in from Oriana here, but
Oh, the
okay,
death sentence hitting him through the dash as well, giving Oide that well deserved.
Junkie.
Yoto Junkie coming in hot with his death sentences, and this could set up for a very, very nice Elder Drake for FUIT here. Oh, sorry, no, Cloud Drake, third Cloud Drake, sorry. That is going to be denying another one here, but UST, they're not going down without fights, and Boy Wonder getting so low here. Tenebria flashing in for the kill. He has to track himself. Kyoto Junkie is going to get whacked here. Death Sentence is trying to delay his death as much as possible, but Illuminus will be hitting him in the head with his bow staff.
Yeah, 2 for 2 here, coming out even for both teams after that team fight. I mean, the Cloud Drake did go on to the side of FUIT Team D here, and I don't think that a fight was absolutely necessary right there, because that was the objective that both teams were fighting for. But more gold funneling into the pockets of this Aphelios, although he is almost maxed out, sitting on this stopwatch. And this is actually something that a lot of players fail to realize. Sometimes it's so much better to sit on that unused stopwatch than to start building to finish your sixth item, because the amount of time that stopwatch can give you that amount of time that you can buy for your team to get to you to survive, that's priceless.
Yeah,
Because it saves your
exactly.
life and your
That's a
team's
great.
life.
I think that's the most important word to refer to. It's priceless. Like if you get a sixth item, that's just stats. That's just life steal, or that's just more damage. But the stopwatch gives you something you don't have access to otherwise, especially since the GA doesn't give you the same stasis effect. But Baron has been started. They know that Tenebria can deal a lot of damage very, very quickly. They secure it. They're backed to the wall here. However, they are going to pull the trigger against FUIT here. A lot of damage from the back. Boy Wonder has the flanks open for him, but Tyler F-1 still wrecking face in the backside. Illuminus, the last one standing here for UST. What a chaotic fight there. However, yeah, that was just chaotic. UST was routed there, cleanly routed there. By Tyler as well as Senior.
Yeah, I honestly thought that post Baron fight would go in such a big favor of UST, because they found that yeah, it was a really good ult, and knocked up Oriana twice. She died right away. But Boy Wonder, he came in from the left side and was able to just delete Tenebria. and
Yeah,
that I feel was the saving grace for Team D here. So good job, Boy Wonder.
I think the riskiest part of that Baron was that, I mean, they had the speed to do it, obviously. That Tenebria with so much gold on him, but it's the fact that neither Kazekage nor Tenebria had their flashes up during that Baron fight. So, especially this is especially pertinent to Tenebria, since that means that once he was there in the Baron pit and FUIT arrived, he couldn't go away. Like there was no leaving the Baron pit there for Tenebria, and which that really just opened him up to Boy Wonder.
Yeah, and I feel that awareness of this, like you said, Hyron, awareness of this, like not having flashes up, being able to already secure Baron. This is also uh, where composure can come in for new teams. Na okay, we got the Baron na. Okay yung objective. Wala tayong flashes. Let's not fight. Back off as five. No one needs to die. Reset and then go for the next play.
That was still super
But
tough though. Even if they had made that right call to leave, um, FUIT was already there, and these are the type. They have the types of champions that even if you're not already out of there when they arrive, there's no way you can escape because they have killer instinct. They have showstopper. They have the Rek'Sai ulti. It's just
yeah,
so
that
different to
is
escape.
true. That is true. And
But
it did come out to a 2-for-2 in the end.
yeah, at the very
So they
least, Baron. Even if they did lose that Baron fight, they at least secured the Baron so that FUIT doesn't have it. So
yeah.
that does still leave us in a stalemate where they're just fighting over the next big objective here.
Yeah, and I don't think that Team D from FUIT can actually afford to let this Cloud Drake
Mhm.
fall into the hands of UST because, again, so many ults here being given less
Ooh,
cooldown. Oh, it's really gonna be hard to handle. But we do see a split push coming in at the top side as both teams converge onto
Tyler
this
exerting a lot
Cloud
of
Drake.
pressure here. He does have this teleport, but Kyoto Junkie didn't try and get in.
Oh,
Red secure it. A lot of damage onto Boy Wonder. He's solo in stasis. Gonna try and recover a little bit of health with his lifesteal, but Tenebria already mowing down the rest of the members of FEU IT. Kazekage makes it so that he can't escape. Tyler, this last dying breath, he is gonna try and take down Tenebria, but he still has his Guardian Angel. He does burn it for the next 5 minutes, but he dies for that mistake. And this gives UST a big opportunity to take down up to the inhibitor turret, or maybe even the inhibitor of this bottom lane.
yeah, I mean that was a good fight coming in from the side of FUIT. The Oriana ball combo with the Rek'Sai, which was actually really on point, but the damage trade from Tenebria, my gosh, Boy Wonder before going gold, before coming into stasis, I don't think he expected that damage. He went to 1 HP first before he was able to press that
Yeah,
button.
very, very
And
unfortunate time there for Boy Wonder. At that
yeah,
point where Boy Wonder, the fact that Boy Wonder had to use his stasis in the first place, because even if Tenebria hadn't damaged him that much, he would have been able to at least get back some of that HP that he would have lost. Or rather, out of stasis, if he was still at full health, he would have been able to at least kill someone else, and that could turn the tide of that fight towards FUIT's favor.
yeah, and this guy is actually already trying to build onto his full set, his sixth
Mhm.
item. He's sitting on that Executioner's Calling, and this means that Kaisa at this point in time should and will actually contribute a lot of
Mhm.
damage to the team fights if Boy Wonder does manage to stay alive. So the burden of staying alive, it's not just on Tenebria now, it's also on Boy Wonder because he's already scaled up just like Aphelios. He's on this Kaisa, and it's a battle of spacing and positioning at this point, I feel.
Yeah, I think it's important here. Kazekage looking for a target, but I think what we've learned from that a fight where Boy Wonder died early is that he shouldn't be, especially considering Kaisa's base range compared to like Tenebria with the sniper rifle is that he has to not leave himself open. Like with the Baron fight, he arrived when UST's attention was already on someone else, like Oide or Tyler. If the attention is on Boy Wonder, I don't think there's a chance that the team survives that, even with Zonius. Of
Yeah, I
course,
have
they
to.
only have
Ooh,
enough spare. This one
let's
right
do it.
this time. Tyler is gonna go in with his ultimate as well, but the rest of UST, they are prepared now for this fight. Tenebria on a killing spree. Aioli is gonna get taken down here. However, quadra kill goes to Tenebria as he just cleans up house. At that point, that team fight was super good there
Ooh,
for UST.
yeah, this is actually an ace, Hyron, and
Yeah,
I
that's
think
that's
the yeah, it's a game, and we see
the way
Luminous
it
just
builds up
yeah,
on side.
everyone they're just converging onto the bot side, and they're taking down the Nexus turrets, and for sure this is gonna be the first win going into the hands of FE. No, no, FU UST missed right here. I have to say, Tenebria, again, he is the sole challenger here on the roster today for
Yes,
UST. He's
pretty much
delivering.
perfect
He is
CS at that.
delivering. Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
just the awareness in fights as well. Like compared to like Boy Wonder, he didn't open himself up to as much, except for that part where they got the Baron but lost the fight thereafter. I think that's really the mark of a super high skill player on the marksman role. But yeah, first game of the day goes to UST. Very very impressive there. Like at that point, talking about that Baron fight, uh, they knew not to finish it, right? They knew, okay, last time this didn't go so well when we committed all our resources to try and take down Baron. Now, okay, they're here. We need to turn, and we need to turn now, and that just allowed them to take away that last team fight, especially with Tenebria just mowing them down. And
Yeah.
as far as I know, Tenebria had Severum there, which means that he
Mm-hmm.
has a lot of life steal and single target DPS.
Yeah, he did. And he really, like you said, he played that fight really well. He made sure that he wouldn't die in no means, like not
Mhm.
even going for any one for one plays, just basically playing front to back. And sometimes that's all you have to do
Yeah, sometimes you
during
just gotta play it by the
these.
books.
And I want to point out that this guy Tenebria, he's a freshie. And even though all of these players aren't part of their respective school's main roster, this is kind of an example, a good example of we see how important it is rather to not just invest time in exploring and developing your main roster, but also checking out meron pa bang mga ibang player na interested mag competitive esports.
Mhm.
Baka merong hidden gem diyan hindi lang natin
Yeah,
nakikita pa. You know, these sorts of things. And yeah, I think mukhang kakausapin ni paring Umi to si Tenebria pagkatapos tingnan natin kasi I mean, Len, just kidding. But yeah, I mean, going back to the what's actually happening here again. This is Rift Rivals, and that
yeah. This
first
is
game,
AcadArena Rivals. Yeah, this is
AcadArena
esports
Rivals.
AcadArena Rivals.
Yeah, and that first game, it
Yeah,
was
that was
really
the first game,
impressive.
of course.
Yeah, sobrang impressive niya for me.
I wonder if
Parang
the
para
other
siyang
teams will deliver
yeah,
as well. I mean, I'm pretty
I did
sure they will deliver to some extent, but I don't know. Uh, Tenebria set a pretty high bar here.
I know, like if I didn't know that this game was composed of like non main roster teams, I would have thought that I mean these guys are the main rosters of some schools, you
Yeah,
know.
we will be seeing Team B, FUIT Team B versus which one? Versus Team Hayes.
Yeah,
after
he is.
this, and then that's where we'll see the challenger on FUIT side in action set. I'm looking forward to that. But of course, we have been your shoutcasters for this first game of this best of five relay. I'm Hyron, and with me was Zerk. We'll be seeing you in the next game. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands. And yeah, we'll be seeing you after a short break.
I don't wanna start it. Don't tell me where it is when I know it's not. Don't think it too hard, yeah. Your friend saying that she's not good enough, but wanna burn that picture. Do what your mama taught ya, cause you fuck with danger. You fuck with a pretty face that's coming back harder. Now I'm talking about me, nothing about you. Don't take it personally. I've got issues, bigger issues. Now what do you see? All that you want, I'm gonna have you. Take my word for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. Tell me how it feels, babe. Tell me how it feels when I touch your skin. How till it burns, babe. So I know when you felt what I feel. So go on and be the man that you want. I was way more than what you deserve. Your toxins run through me, my presence appealing. You don't have to tell me I'm downright crazy. Oh, nothing about me. Don't take it personally. You've got issues, big issues. Now what do you see? All that you want, you're gonna have you. Take one for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. Back for it. Take one for it, babe. I ain't coming back for it. Back for it. Told me this about us. You can't do what I've taught. How do I explain that? You can't touch what's not yours. I'll show you what I meant when I said you're lost. It'll hit hard when I'm not at home. You started the burning and now that you worry that now you're without me, you'll go fucking crazy. Yeah. Nothing about me. Don't take it personally. You've got issues, big issues. Now what do you see? All that you want, you're gonna have it. Take my word for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. Take my word for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. Take my word for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. Back for it. Back for it. I'm talking about me, nothing about you. Don't take it personally. You've got issues, big issues. Now what do you see? All that you want, you're gonna have you. Take one for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. Take one for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. Take one for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. Take my word for it, babe. I ain't coming back for you. I've been going off for broke for my friends to like me, oh. But I know they see right through me cause they listen to my songs, yeah. But I don't care, no baby, I don't care. People always tell me take a breath, hey, hey, hey. I've been looking for something that haunts me all night. I've been staying up hours until the sunrise. Just so casual, always living the same life. I don't really mind, but I just need to take some time to get away. I don't really mind, but I just need to take some time to get away. I don't really mind, but I something I could take for this pain to go away. Cause I've tried 100 methods and they always seem to fail. Am I crazy? Don't tell me I'm crazy. I just need to find another way. Hey, hey, hey. I've been looking for something that haunts me all night. I've been staying up hours until the sunrise. Just so casual, always living the same life. I don't really mind, but I just need to take some time to get away. For me, myself and I, cause I'm so bloody tired, yeah. But I'm alright, trust me baby, I'm alright. I'll just sit back and enjoy the ride. I've been looking for something that haunts me all night. I've been staying up hours until the sunrise. Just so casual, always living the same life. I don't really mind, but I just need to take some time to get away. It was easy to catch me with your big brown eyes and the way you smile. I guess that you believe in me. The thing inside is killing me. I'm holding on, I'm holding on. I just wanna get you forever, forever. I just wanna get you forever, forever. I just wanna.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is still esports AcadArena Rivals between UST Teletigers and FUIT Tamaraws will be your shoutcasters for this game and all the games later. I'm Hyron. With me is Berserk.
What's up? Hi, Ron. And wow, just to recap what came down for our first game in AcadArena Rivals, it was Team D from FITI Tamaraws versus Mist from
Yeah.
UST Teletigers. And it was one heck of a game. It was basically Tenebria versus, well, I don't know. It was a
World.
Tenebria show. It was
It
a
was, yeah.
Tenebria show. It was a Philius show, and it's something that we can kinda expect whenever we see an Aphelios pick,
Mhm.
if ever
It's
late
very strong in
game.
general.
Yeah.
Plus, the Yumi
So
also did a lot of work.
I mean, yeah, actually all of them
Yeah.
performed really well because the game was actually neck and neck. Both teams were putting their best feet foot each player was putting their best foot forward, and
Mhm.
plays were being made left and right, but in the end I think the Phyllis scaling was just too much to
Yeah.
handle. And
And I think
yeah.
Team Mist just played to their strengths way better. Like earlier, I said, okay, they're way better at flanking, but once they got the scaling on the Philios, they could take those front to back fights way more. In the case of Team B, it's just way too difficult for them to take that front to back because of the nature of just Kaisa. Super risky, especially against Aphelios. Super risky to just show up and immediately get CC'd. But of course, I think we should move on to the next game or the second game we have today for our best of five relay. This is gonna be UST team Smoke. I think yeah. Instead of Hayes, since one member of Hayes is experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties, they're putting Smoke on the second game. As for FUIT, it'll be Team B, which has one of the players that we were looking at quite closely set. He's actually Grandmaster at this point and not Challenger, but it's still one of the highest ranks we've seen in FUIT's non-main roster so far. But let's get into the pick and bans.
Yeah, and we do see these first two bans right here, Silas and Shen, getting banned for each of these teams. I am thinking these are target bans,
Mhm.
Iron, but we'll have to see. I think both teams have, they've done their homework naman.
Yeah,
They've done
definitely.
their research on each of the players of their opponents. And you have to see what goes on. I'm pretty sure, rather, that FIT wants to win a game back. This is still
Oh,
school
definitely.
pride. Yeah.
Especially since they're
So,
sending in Seth,
nandito
along
na
with a
si
couple
Seth.
other. I think FIT Lars is also familiar to me for some reason,
Mm.
and they definitely will be putting their best into the second game because you don't want to get put in a situation where you have to reverse sweep a best of five. But Graves, of course, pretty nothing too out of the ordinary there, and even at least uh, still a very very strong jungler, able to apply a lot of early pressure. Uh, big threat in the mid game if Jesus is able to snowball this.
Yeah, these are jungle bans and they're meta bans, but I think they also double as target bans
Mhm.
because, as far as I know, Jesus on the side of FIT, he has 200 games combined, Graves and Lee Sin. So
Yeah,
this Graves ban does make sense. While the Elise ban, on the other hand, as far as I know,
could be something against
Aslan
Aslan.
is
Yeah,
something that at least is something that Aslan plays along with Leeson and Gragas. So we'll have to see. Aatrox ban,
Mordekaiser.
last third ban for the side of IT, and Mordekaiser too for UST. So first pick
I'm
coming
wondering.
in.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Of course, the Mordekaiser ban. Um, the Mordekaiser is still pretty strong. I'm wondering if there's an exact reason for that, but maybe UST here could they be
Mm.
looking to pick a Wukong topside? That's one of the things that I'm expecting. Zillion though, this definitely tells us
Zillion
that FBI is
first
going
pick.
for something specific.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really expect your first pick to be Zillion. Usually,
Mhm.
it's reserved for the second or second to the last pick. And I'm really curious what sort of team comp the FIT is looking to build right now. But
Or okay, so it's not Wukong,
the,
but
yeah, the
Orange
answer to
Trundle.
that,
Wow, pretty
yeah, Ornn
beefy.
and Trundle. I mean, they take that really strong tank at the top lane, Ornn, and they take away the counter to that, which is Trundle.
Yeah, this
Which
is
is
Trundle. That's
for
very,
me,
very, very smart here.
yeah, it is very smart. But if ever FIT does decide to draft a team comp that doesn't really involve uh tanks, then this Trundle pick does get diminished in terms of value. But okay, so this Braum actually does get locked in, so that's one priority target coming in from uh on the side of UST for this Trundle.
This is a lot of peel and disengage coming in
Uh-huh.
from FUIT. Ooh, Yasuo.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh well, he is named Hateo.
Yeah, I just noticed that now, and I'm not surprised. He's a
Yeah,
Yasmin,
he has
and
a lot of access as well. The
it's
Call
two
the War God is
knockups,
a very, very good
three
knockup,
knockups actually.
and
Yeah, yeah,
just the headbutt as well against the rain. So
yeah.
high
Pillar two
exposure
coming in
naturally.
from Rundle. So I mean, three picks pa lang, apat na agad yung enablers ng Yasuo. So they're pretty much set for that. ADCs don't really need to spec a knock up support. Uh, at this point in time, given that Yasuo has already been enabled,
Mhm.
okay na. So eto,
Yeah,
tingnan
it's
natin
only
yung ban. I think
to
it's smart. I mean,
call
they
it
they
that.
banned Kaisa
Mhm.
because what you said a while ago, Hyron, that mukhang daming disengage and peel tong comp ng FIT. So maybe they're going for a hyper carry comp. So the UST, maybe that's what's on their mind as well, and they do decide
Misfortune
to
ban.
ban these two ADCs that scale really well.
Yeah,
Aphelios
let's
though.
look at the last ban here for FUIT. Of course, Nautilus would be one of those picks that give yet another avenue for the last breath from Hasio here. Chana.
Jan,
So they're really
interesting
trying to take away. It's an
knockups.
interesting ban. I'm not sure if I myself would take a Jana ban. Maybe Vessens just really plays it a lot. But that is another avenue that Ahaseo could use to get that last breath in. Lucian.
Illusion getting locked in by Imperius here. So this is going to be a an early game team comp
Mhm.
at the very least for bot lane.
Yeah,
A
they
team comp for
definitely.
bot lane.
This comp definitely wants to go fast and hard early. Snowball into and end the game at around 20 to 25 minutes, ideally.
But
As
Callista
for
Braum though,
yeah,
I feel like Callista Braum is a combo that not a lot of people expect would be
definitely
dominant, but
underrated.
it's really strong to be honest.
Yeah.
Callista early game is really strong. It's just that most people, when they hear early game bot lane, they think of
Ooh.
Lucian, they think of Kate. But okay, so this is going to be a Kalista being flexed to top lane and
Mhm.
Vayne being played at bot, or it could be the other way around. I mean,
Yeah,
Vayne
it's
against Ornn.
definitely viable. I swear. We also have to remember that. Okay. Karma,
Ah,
Lucian, bot side.
that's
Actually,
really
yeah,
oppressive though.
it's super super oppressive. Just the constant karma. I think uh, it's one of the highest pick rate supports.
Yeah, these
Yeah,
days
definitely in the
given the
top three
meta.
in this patch. Um, and with Lucian, yeah, like you said, it's gonna be very very oppressive. Though Leonel does have a lot of avenues to protect against the constant poke, but uh, still, it's gonna be very very tough here. Leonel's gonna have to work double time here to protect. I don't know what they call it, PPP, PPP. I don't want to call it PP.
You gotta add another P there, Hyron. Or just say P. Oh no,
Yeah,
you can't.
P.
Don't say P too.
Don't say P. PPP. There we go. But yeah, but if Leonel does have his protection on point, but not just PPP, but set as well, being that top ranked player in this FUIT team, uh, that could have a lot of mileage, especially with FIT Lars on that Zillion. So they're definitely really banking on um, being able to survive early and have these marksmen scale really, really hard.
Yeah, I have to agree with you completely, Hyrod. I mean, this team comp that FIT drafted, they I think if when it comes to late game, it's the game is basically done. I mean, it's Vayne, Kalista. It's gonna be really hard to get to them. There's Brom to stop the Oranhorn. Uh, Execution wise, it for early game especially, it's gonna
Gonna
be
be
on the
tough.
side of UST. They
Yeah.
really have to win bot lane hard. They have to control this Vayne at top. That's my worry. And like you said, the user on that Vayne is set, and he's not just the highest ranked player right now for FUIT.
It's also the
He's
most senior,
also
right?
he's senior. So this means veterano na siya,
Hmm.
and he's he knows what he's doing. So, but I hope, and I mean, it's a vein top, and you kind of for a player to pick this, it is a counter pick
You
for
have to
Orin,
be very
but
confident in their
yeah,
mechanics
you
as
have to
well.
be very confident in it, and I'm hoping to see this confidence being translated into actual execution, into actual performance for game two. But still, it's really scary. The comp of UST, so many knockups, so much
Yeah,
pressure.
but this
It
does mean that the burden of exerting themselves lies on UST. Like,
Yeah.
if they're not proactive, if they're not aggressive, if they can't make leads for themselves, then that does allow the two marksmen on the side of FEUIT to just grow until they can't be uh, they can't be dealt with by UST.
Mm,
And they have drafted many good tools here. FUIT has drafted many good tools to ensure that you have the disengage from the Gragas and just the early pressure or just the early power that Gragas has to relieve any pressure that Aslan might want to put out. Of course, you have the standard Braum being that protector support and Lars having that CC and that revive, that crucial revive at his disposal. They will need to use every single one of those tools to defend against a fully mounted UST assault here.
yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Fully mounted UST assault. It is really scary. But like you said a while ago that the burden of execution is on UST, and I totally agree with that. But one of the things that I'd like to point out is, especially for new teams, um, playing slow competitively, it's one of the common difficulties that the teams face. I mean, not even new teams, even like veteran teams, because fights will and are bound to happen around objectives. So, a draft that a draft like that which UST has right now, if they keep on forcing fights and FIT keeps on getting drawn to these fights and they die because of it,
Mm-hmm.
then that's gonna be on them. So a lot of composure, a lot of control is gonna be needed
It's
by
the classic aggro versus control matchup.
that's familiar.
Thinking.
Legends of oh, wait, we're playing League of Legends right
But
now.
yeah, that's basically the gist of it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that is it.
Ivan Squad wants to really hammer in their early game so they can enable Haseo early.
I'm
Otherwise,
kind of waiting for you, Hyron, to shout that Haseo later if ever he breaks the.
yeah, this is game two. Game two for our stream today. This is, of course, Esports AcadArena Rivals, the best of five relay match between UST Teletigers and FUIT. iTamaraws. This is Team B, set leading the charge versus Team Smoke from UST. And we've got a short pause for stream. Uh, this does give us a little bit more time to talk about not just the game itself, but about the organizations that are playing right now, like FUIT and Teletigers. These are pretty consistent names for the scene, right? For the collegiate scene.
Yeah, they are, and it's great to see that both of these organizations have actually fielded three teams. I mean, today for rivals, not just, and again, these guys aren't their main roster, and
There's still a
as
fourth.
we saw, yeah, as seen in game one, I mean, they're nothing to scoff at. I mean, they played really well, all of them, and this is just the second game, like we said a while ago. So because of how well the first teams played in game one, I'm kind of expecting a little bit more this time around for these two teams, because like I was really taken aback, to be honest, and in a good way for
Mhm.
that matter. And in game one, it was Tenebria highest ranked challenger. Ngayon, it's set. Tingnan natin if he can actually, turn things around, and bawi naman tayo, kumbaga rally ba kung sabihin
Mhm.
natin.
It's going to be very interesting to see. But of course, the game has been on pause, and now we enter the second game in earnest here. It's going to be super, super exciting.
Yeah, that's true. And I want to take this time to talk a little bit about the junglers, because I mean, like any game, the pace of the game, it's dictated a lot by how the junglers rotate, which lanes they choose to gank the focus. And for the side of UST, I think that if bot lane is able to get down really good harass, a dive is something that they can pull out. Even though FIT does have that Bromwood exhaust, I think it's still possible. But otherwise, I really think this Vayne needs to be controlled early.
Hmm.
That's what I feel. Yasuo can just farm freely in the mid lane, but this Vayne is kind of a concern. So I expect Aslan to be pathing top if ever bot doesn't work out for them.
Could go for an early gank. Um, he is starting top side here, which gives us a little bit of a hint of his intentions. But yeah, it's going to be extremely important to keep Set in check. And though I do think that with a really good leash that they put here for Jesus, it's possible that this Gragas might prioritize keeping this Vayne safe. Because I think FUIT knows that UST knows that Set is the keystone for this composition to work out.
That's true. And looking at the bot lane, oh, that's pretty crucial. Not a lot of players know how crucial that is, but missing an empowered Karma Q, it's a lot, because that's basically pressure gone for free. And
And this
level
allows
2 though,
PvP
ooh,
to get a few attacks in. However, that's a lot of damage coming in from Imperius and Vessens, forced to use both of his summoners as well. Lionel with his exhaust. Do not underestimate the damage of this Lucian and this Karma.
yeah, I mean, definitely a misplay here on the side of the bot lane of FUIT. If you're about to lose the level 2, I think that from a coaching perspective, I think you need to really be playing passively, because you can't win level 1 versus level 2, let
Like
alone against
already
two
like two
level 2
minions
people.
in, you know whether you're gonna win the level 2 race or not. And that should be your signal to back off early. And there, PPP is still taking so many hits from Vessens and powered Qs here.
And
Interplay.
it was actually in contrary to our guesses, Siron. Both junglers actually decided to stay bot lane here. But looks like Aslan will come up on top here, being able to secure the scuttle for himself.
Mhm.
But this does mean that top scuttle will be secured by Jesus. And this gives Vayne, set on Vayne, a lot of breathing room to, breathe down the neck of this orc.
Yeah, Ivan having a little tough time here, especially with Set just easily being able to tumble out of Ivan's threat range. Like, there should be no chance for Ivan here in a vacuum to take down Set. And this is just basically Set having free reign over this top side. Aslan needs to really address that ASAP, but Jesus uses the opportunity, take away resources from Aslan, just make this top side even weaker for UST. Really, really big concern here.
Yeah, and looks like right now, I this is really good for the side of FIT. They're taking care of their vein. Jesus is on the top
Go
side and
for a
he's looking
dash
at
as
flash.
well. Really good condemn. Secures the kill here for Zed. Very dangerous, Ivan. Why are you near a wall? As First Blood gets secured by FEUIT.
That is that's a really big oops right there. I mean, you don't want this vein to be popping off this early. Vayne does scale and he needs that first, second, third item in order to do so. But I mean, this is gonna be hard. Orn does still have flash. Ivan does still have flash up, but that 20 CS lead and that experience deficit that matters.
They're gonna
It's
feel
gonna be
that.
big. They're gonna feel it. They're
Man,
gonna feel the power of their senpai, the senior.
that was completely avoidable, right?
Yeah, it
Because
was
at some
actually.
point, Aslan and Jesus both saw each other bot side near the river. Jesus did not have his blue buff then, so that should have been a signal for Aslan to tell his top laner, okay, uh, the rest of his jungle path puts him at top side, so you should be careful. And I think Ivan really wasn't expecting the gank here coming in from Jesus.
And I think that's one of the things that a lot of the young players can learn from as well, because Seth was actually playing so far up. And sometimes this is a tell that they can afford to do that because their jungler is on the same side.
Yeah,
That's sometimes the case. And I feel that this could have been read a bit better by Ivan, but he is on an Ornn and his use will still, the value of the Ornn will still be there as we progress through the game. But
absolutely super important, and of course, being
mhm.
able to upgrade maybe Haseo or Imperius's item.
Speaking of Aseo, look at that CS lead
Yeah,
in mid.
we've been fixating so much on this top side.
Yeah.
We haven't been noticing that. Yes, because of the space that, or because of the priority in the past few minutes that they've been putting on this top side. This basically means Haseo has a lot of breathing room in the mid lane. Get it? Because it's wind and never mind. Let's shut up. But yeah, that could be problematic for FUIT. But it
And
seems
right
like they
now,
know that that's the case, and they're
mhm.
making decisions that are centered around this bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and this dragon is looking to be taken by UST here, but I mean, both teams are in position to actually be there and converge and
Kind of
respond to
hesitate.
the Drake. So they do
He doesn't
back
know
off, and
where
I think
he is.
yeah, I think it was a good call to back off from that Drake, because bot lane and mid didn't really have any sure priority,
Mhm.
so it was bound to be a toss up. But things are still coming down, and Aslan is seen at the top side of the map right now, while Jesus is actually here on bot, and
It looks
Kalista
good.
Braum has their priority. They pushed up the lane, so we'll see if they start this Drake.
Seems
And
like they
meanwhile,
are clearing, trying to get. Lots of damage coming in from Set,
oh
but
my gosh,
yeah, seems like they're just trying to establish their territory here before Jesus does start it in earnest. Ooh, flash from it. I
Flash.
don't think he needed to do that.
Yeah, I don't think he needed to do that. I think he was just a little bit scared that he would be CC chain Braum passive, if if he gets stunned he's dead. But I think it was a little bit too early. But they do get
Should
rewarded.
take Ocean
Or
Cake for blue team. Yes, they do secure it indeed. Haseo goes in the middle of the fray. He gets exhausted as well. Can't get the knock up on the important members, but they are to the wall here. Their backs are to the wall as UST is able to clean them up.
yeah, that's true. I mean, good TP coming in from Ivan, but this only sets him back even farther from Seth. They do have that early game power spike because they drafted a comp which excels much better early, but because of the matchup at top, I mean, there's a trade-off, and also FIT, they were able to secure that Drake, and that was the objective. I think that's so much worth it. I mean, they did give away that one death, but what was the trade-off? What was the benefit? More plates for Vayne on set on Vayne, as well as the Drake. So I mean, that's a win, I think, for them.
Yeah, I think that's definitely worth it. A couple plates for the win, even more free farm. And the Ocean Drake, the good thing there is that they were able to deny it from, like, the Ocean Drake will just let them stay in lane more and bully the opposing laners, because that Ocean Drake could have been extremely valuable for Ivan and Haseo. Um, just being able to out sustain their lane opponents, or
Yeah.
in the case of Ivan, to at least have some sustain against Seth.
Definitely, and I guess we. Oh, actually, right now I do need to point out that we might not be in sync with the actual feed, Iron. So
Real time to go check once again.
yeah, we apologize for this technical difficulty, but yeah, we do have to check. So we need to make sure that what we're talking about is actually what you guys are seeing.
Oh, I'm in sync. Okay, testing. Yeah, I'm at 10:39, 10:40. Yeah, we go.
Yeah, we are in sync. We are in sync.
Yeah.
Okay, so just uh just to make sure.
Put your. Don't you have any Tiwala?
Tiwala?
This is gonna be, I think,
Oh.
two fights, two sides of the map here. I'm a top side. Ivan does slay Set indeed. This does give the chance for Imperius to be taken down by PPP and Leonel. That's gonna be one more spear in the back of Pheasants, and they will be able to get a lot of priority in this bot lane. And that was two
Okay.
fights.
Yeah, I mean, I would still have to give it to the side of FIT in terms of like overall benefit, because they do get the shutdown on Vayne, but she's not the only carry on their team.
Yeah.
This Kalista is still there, and she gets two tower plates, all of it is shared with
Herald coming in.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So that does cement that this is the win for FUIT in this exchange of objectives. Jesus, he does have his ulti, he does have his flash for the body slam. They have to respect that. But I
Haseo
don't
though
think
and
it's
Aslan,
all the platings.
yeah. Yeah, they do back off. They do realize that Haseo and Aslan were coming in from for the flank that collapsed, and yeah,
Still,
it's
that's
okay.
a lot of gold on PPP.
Yeah, that's a lot of gold, and that's actually 1.3k 3k gold onto the side of Kalista compared to his counterpart, and for Seth on the top lane, he's practically the same. So both carries are 1.3k gold ahead compared to their counterparts right now.
And we have to remember that Set's death topside was UST staunching the bleeding. What happened bot side was PPP establishing an advantage in the bot side. So yeah, it is pretty clear that FUIT got the better deal in the end there, and we will see if the tides of battle change once the next Drake spawns. It is gonna spawn very soon. Lots of pings coming through.
Yeah, but still, I mean, Haseo is still here. He is 40 CS up, just the same gold lead that Seth and PPP have over their counterparts, but this time over Zillion over here. Team fight wise, these two AD carries on the side of FIT, they're not exactly online yet, so okay.
That might spell trouble here for Lars, but the backup comes in. Jesus and Lionel from downtown, able to pressure Haseo, kill another member of UST. There's going to be a stun to Yasuo, not even able to get a last breath in as Aslan needs to flash over. Jesus gives a little bit of pursuit, but then turns his attention to Mountain Drake after giving USC a little bit of a dance show in the jungle. This will be a clean Mountain Drake for FUIT.
Yeah, and meanwhile, while all of this was happening on the bot side of the map, Seth was getting busy at top, and he was able to take down the first outer turret. And I mean, right now, things are looking really good for FIT. Mukhang ginalit sila nung nagalit na sila.
Yeah.
Mukhang babawi sila sa game na to. But we will still have to see. The game is not yet over. 15 minutes in, close to 15 minutes in. And we do see a substantial gold lead for
However,
the side of
5K
FIT.
gold is
Yeah.
pretty big considering the kinds of compositions that they've drafted. This comp by Imperious Vessens and the other members of UST Teletigers Smoke. This is not a team that wants to play on the back foot, or this is not a composition that wants to play from behind.
Yeah, it's true. And right now the ideal way that UST can win this game back is if they get a 3-4, or hope maybe it's a bit overreaching, but 5-man knock up by Ornn, and then Yasuo comes in. Everyone unloads their skills, their damage, but it's really gonna be hard because Kalista Vayne, I mean, they're pretty mobile.
Mhm.
There's a Braum too. There's Zillion ult. It's the burden of execution, like you said a while ago. It's really so much onto the side of UST right now. So I think we like saying whoever team is winning, they should be pressing their lead. But I feel that even if FUIT don't press their lead, they're still gonna scale up and they're still gonna be poised to win the game.
Yeah. That's pretty much the advantage of these scaling comps. Like once you establish a pretty good lead early, like you don't have to, but if you do, then you're not pressured to end the game as fast as possible. Since you just bank on the inevitability of your comp here, but Aslan dealing a lot of damage here. Another knockup is going to ensure that Seth gets another kill in his bot lane, and I think they will pivot this into a mid lane push.
Yeah, PPP is already there getting busy with the tower. Although Haseo is there trying to clear the wave.
Not even the
Windwall
wind
comes
wall
out.
can save him.
Yeah, I mean, this is pressure all around the map.
Rough.
Flash coming out from Vessens too. He's
Yes,
trapped.
Look at actually clipping the body slam just a little bit more. Lars dealing a lot of damage, stuns with a time bomb. Haseo once again not being able to contribute anything into that skirmish. Jesus giving the BM.
Giving the belly dance.
It
The
is
belly
rough.
movement.
I don't think I've seen Haseo have an impactful last breath, or even get the chance to last breath at all in the past few minutes, which is rough.
Yeah, not yet, because I mean the side lanes for UST here both, I would say, kind of got routed, and the setup from Ornn, from Trundle, because of the pressure that FIT has been exerting all around the map, they really can't find those good sets. They really can't find those good fights for Haseo to just pull the trigger onto a knockup. And yeah, it's just, I have to give it to FIT. They're very unrelenting right now in terms of pressure.
They will secure this Rift Herald, and they had Callista anyway, so that was pretty much a tough call to try and intervene in that Rift Herald take. A few seconds too late here for USC to try and take that.
Yeah, and for the side of UST, I was talking about the team comps and win conditions a while ago. For me, it still remains the same. They really need to find a good team fight. But at this point, I don't even think a team fight will save them. I think they need to find a good pickoff first before a good team fight, because of this. It's 8K gold lead. It's an 8K gold lead for the side of FIT. 18 minutes in, and this third Drake of the game, the Infernal Drake, is about to pop up. TP coming in from FIT. Lars Pinks getting jotted down. Bot side, they don't even want to go for the Drake. They want to push down this bottom tier 2 tower with this Herald.
They
which
have the
they
Rift
just
Herald to
secured.
try and go for the push.
Uh-huh.
From the side, Lars bombarding UST, keeping them away. That's a really fast turret take here. Let's see. The Rift Herald just take it down. We're still at least half a minute before the next Drake. There we go. This will be
Yeah,
a pivotal moment, because this is where, if FUIT takes this, then that pretty much dashes the hopes of UST for the second game.
Yeah, UST does have those stooping chords on the bottom side of the map, but the problem is, even though they go for a TP flank from Ornn, the gold lead, it's just too big. So I mean, more gold, more items, more gold, more strength. But they are trying to see if they can do something about this third Drake.
That's
They're making a
strange.
run for it.
Wait, so the
Uh,
Fall of the Forge God does come through. Dragon still gets secured by FUIT. Jesus in stasis. So many knockups going around, but no, Last Breath has been burned as well. Set still dealing so much damage, pursuing the backline of UST, cleaning up house here. Aslan, the last remaining member, does get shot down. Shot down as another quadra kill comes in for Set.
mukhang mukhang nag-debut ulit itong si Seth kahit senior na siya.
Hold
You see
on.
how you see how the team comp worked so well for FIT there. UST converged and tried to put down this Kalista as fast as possible, but Zillion ult is there coming in, and Seth was on his own free hitting and eliminating targets by himself. So
One thing made me
in ter-
think though. PPP went out of the Drake pit early. Did you see? He
yeah, I
jumped
did, I did.
pit when it was half health. But they did have vision of where UST was. So is that like a big brain play? Let's have them think that we haven't hit Drake yet, so we can bait them into a losing fight. If so,
I
then
don't know.
galaxy brain. Because
I mean, yeah, it's
because I saw him go out of the Drake pit intentionally. That couldn't have been a misclick.
maybe what happened there was like he thought he could secure it with a rend or something, but the stacks
Maybe.
weren't enough. I'm not really sure, but it still worked out for them. And right now they have their eyes dead set on this Baron. I feel they move set bottom lane. He does have TP.
And both of them have Bork. That's the perfect time to get Baron after it spawns.
Oh, yeah, and the tankiness just isn't here on for the team of UST for Smoke. Orin didn't hasn't come online. I mean, Orin doesn't really come online. He's just that really stable meatball. But the problem is there are two meatball shredders. There's VPP
Turn
and
that
Seth.
back to ground beef.
I know.
This
I
is
just
really
had
tough
beef Kappa.
since FUIT has the initiative on the Baron and they have the Callista. This is pretty much impossible to steal and a straight up 50-50, not even a straight up smite fight. And I think they know that and they just have to back off.
Yeah, UST at this point, they just you gotta put their hands together and pray. Seth is actually going in onto Ivan over here, and
Just going ham on these meatballs. Another
bam.
knockup comes in. PPP gets the kill here. Aslan surviving with a little bit of health, but still getting taken out. PPP still in pursuit. The spear does not find its mark. However, the inhibitors will be demolished by this vein. And look at that Set. No fear whatsoever. Get into turret range. He doesn't care. PPP still going for those kills. Rending Vesens into bits. This is a massive.
This is a massacre. You're right, Iron and okay, Orn comes in from the base. He even gets condemned back
He's not
into
taking
the
any prisoners here, and they can just have the minions do the pushing for them. They want kills. They want to extend their KDA. They are keeping them in the fountain. These guys are merciless. The Nexus is exposed. Still, Leonel protecting his AD carry from all of the damage coming in from UST, and the victory for the second game goes to FUIT Team B with Seth and PPP leading the charge.
I am not the only challenger in this series, says Seth. And he
Well,
successfully
yeah,
that's
the point
that's a
stands. Point stands. Man, these guys massacred UST Team Smoke. Not just they were like not just the men, but the women and children too moment.
oh boy. That's pretty brutal. But yeah, I mean, I think the drafts from the side of UST, I could see the value in how they drafted. I could see the way in which they could
Definitely
execute.
win conditions. in their team
Yeah,
comp.
but the key word
Clear.
there is the key
Yeah,
word is execute. I feel, and they couldn't execute the early game properly. Really good pathing coming in from the jungler of FIT there. See Jesus. He was able to really take care of the vein. Not even take care of the vein, but really like
like enable
binig
him as well.
binigyan siya ng samgyup, parang ganon.
Binibre ng
Busog na busog.
oh, meatball. Uh, yeah.
Meat,
I
meat.
think we're hungry.
I think we're
But yeah, that was definitely good showing from Set. Uh, Man, that was very very impressive, and this just goes to show that this is a very close fight between these two school organizations, UST Teletigers and FUIT iTamaraws. Uh,
yeah. It's 1-1.
can't wait to see
It,
how the rest of the teams fare compared to because uh, UST and FIT, they've already shown the teams which have their highest elo players. I want to see how the other players stack up against those, well, the bar that's been set today, and I really want to see that same level of play, but we'll see.
yeah,
Um,
we will have to see it. The next game is gonna be composed of Diamond and I believe Diamond players actually. So wala ditong nangingibabaw na
I thought
challenger
there was a
this time
challenger
around.
in the lobby, but turns out that was just you.
Oh, punta na ako sa spectate.
Yeah,
Whoops.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, that's
that's
basically it. And
it's
hmm?
gonna be team. Yeah,
It's gonna be
team Haze. Yeah,
Elices, and Hayes.
team Haze. Really
Yeah,
looking
and
forward.
they're really young actually. Composed of senior
Freshmen.
high school students, freshies, and sophomores. So how I wish I could go back to those days, but
How I wish I wasn't delayed.
well, well, I guess we just have to wait and see what happens for
It's
game
not a meme
three.
at this point. It's a genuine cry for help. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how these two teams perform because I'm really excited. Because if you think about it, uh, these non-main roster teams, notably most of them, uh, you've noted are like on the younger side. Freshmen, US even has say SHS students, and this is really
Yeah.
like the future of the org, or pretty much the future of the org. You know, like the usual university org
Uh
stuff
huh.
where uh, the older members and the alumni are the ones to
They
leave
hand
it
over
in
the
the
torch.
hand over the torch, leave it in the hands of the younger generation. Uh, and
Yeah.
if this is what the teams or the players are showing, that shows a lot of promise.
Yeah, and I have to give it also to whoever is in charge of management. It's not easy to put in a system of continuity
Mhm.
for an organization, and in this case it's an esports organization. The players, the sort of training regimen that they have, the scheduling, the alignment, expectation setting, it's a lot of work. And this is only uh and I'm only talking about the competitive side of things. There's also the community which has to be developed, and the career opportunities as well that are given to all of these students who are part of these esports
Yeah.
organizations. No? So it's a lot, and it's great. It's great that AcadArena has these programs for us.
Hmm. So many opportunities for these collegiate talents to show their worth, build up, as you said, the community. And I think FIT and UST are really those notable schools, and rather their orgs as well. Like a going to an event to an esports event at FIT gym is always nice. Interacting with the community I'm sure a lot of people have fun interacting with the community of the UST Teletigers. And in general, this is really what keeps the scene going. This keeps the scene healthy, uh, all and nurturing the young talents in each organization. All these factors just come in to make collegiate esports uh, so much better than it could
Mm-hmm.
be without these factors.
Yeah, that's true. And we are on esports AcadArena's rivalries today. It's FEUIT versus UST Teletigers Esports Club. But for the whole month of June, actually it is May 30 right now. One more day matatapos na yung May. Ang dami ring in store for everyone for the month of June. For June 6, it's ACES. This is for Legends of Runeterra. The next week there's another ACES for League of Legends, and I mean week after week we have lots of things in store for you guys, so I'm really looking forward to those as well.
So just make sure to follow all the esports AcadArena SocMed. Uh, it should be noted in the posts referring to uh, campus AcadArena rivals. So yeah, also follow for Zerks and my page, Hiron PH.
Oh yeah,
And
and guys, it's by the way, AcadArena's website already got released. It's
oh yeah,
acadarena.com.
arena.com.
So make sure to check that out. Lots of things you can find there, especially more on the other programs that AcadArena has in store for esports for the month of June.
Yeah, actually, um, y- it has a lot of stuff that you can look at and important stuff. And yeah, I feel like um, and we always say this, but it's true, right? Like collegiate esports just keeps growing in the Philippines, and that makes me really happy. Since uh, I think back then, like the old Garena collegiate leagues, I think that was like my favorite part of being a caster. Like especially since I was a university student, or I am still a university student during
It-
the time of these leagues, and
yeah,
seeing it
that's
go, it's pretty nice.
that's a trip down memory lane. But for now, I think the players for Game 3 are busy getting ready, and I think we do need to go on for a quick break and set up for that match. It's been fun so far. 2 games action packed. Right now,
Yeah,
we are your casters. I am Ferzric, and over here is Hyron, and we will see you in a bit.
yeet.
invincible.
I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. I drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so dumb. Everybody know what flow I'm on. You already know when the click come through to the shit, then it's about to be a show we run. Then it's about to be a show we I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. I drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the. I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. I drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the. I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. I drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the. Yeah, I go so young. Everybody know what flow I'm on. You already know when the click come through to the shit, then it's about to be a show we run. Then it's about to be a show we run.
Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. This is still Esports AcadArena Rivals with Hyron and Berserk, and we're going to our third game of this best of five relay. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, and getting right into this third game, here we go, pick and ban phase. But before that, I just wanna let you guys know that the current position of both teams,
The
of
1-1.
both schools rather, it's a 1-1, and anything can go at this point. These teams right now, this is LICs for FUIT, and for UST, it's
Team Hayes.
yeah, hey, so these guys are composed of really young students. I think nobody older than a sophomore, and they're all pretty equally ranked. Save for one guy, si
Inside.
Tenzai. He was actually during registration he was pegged at, I feel, diamond 1 or 2, but now he's grandmaster. So, and I also took a peek at the side of FIT. On the average, all of them have risen ranks as well. So these guys
They're
have been
constantly growing.
working, progress sila.
And I think that's super important, that someone is able to progress uh, for the past few months. But looking at the pick and bans, again, nothing too out of the ordinary. Uh, the LeBlanc and the Thresh could potentially be more targeted towards Hieri and Saints, but everything else doesn't seem too out of place, right?
Yeah, it seems like things are where they should be at this point, and I'm trying to see what sort of first pick UST is looking at. It's a Trundle hover right here without any tanks being taken yet on the opposite side. So this is very interesting. I mean, looking at the past meta, like way back, Trundle has been used top lane. Trundle has been used as support. So maybe that's some sort of tech that they could pull out.
Maybe not giving out too much
Previously.
information,
Mhm.
possibly using it as once, like you said, a tech.
Yeah, and this is
And
already actually one of the interesting techs of Trundle, like MF ult. One thing that's really long range that can interrupt that Trundle pillar. So that's one use right now that we can see from
like
this Trundle pick.
FIT says, okay, we're okay with that. But
Mm.
we'll see what the other second pick that they have would be.
Braum.
Well, Braum doesn't stop the pillar, but it's still a very good deterrent. Basically,
I think they
allows,
picked Braum to basically take it away from UST
yeah,
because Braum counters MF ult really
really,
well.
really stops the entirety of the bullet time. But uh, even on the converse, like that shield will allow this misfortune to get the full channel of the bullet time much
That
more
is
often.
true.
Basically, gives him sandbags to hide behind. Meanwhile, Pike is going to be the pickup here. So a lot of flexible, um, a lot of ways that UST can play with this draft, right? It's very,
Yeah,
very
it's
interesting.
pretty flexible. I mean, Pike, we also know Pike can be flexed mid in certain cases. Lucian is also a flex
So,
pick, to
something
be
that,
honest.
right now, UST is just uh,
Mind
playing
games.
games right now. And let's see if this is able to trip up FIT.
Yeah, we have to see. I mean, this third pick is really important for LIC's team LIC's here because it's basically gonna dictate what sort of okay, so it's
Sin.
Lee. Very interesting for me. This kinda tells me that confident yung Lee player natin na to.
Yeah,
Cause
and yeah, this is one of Mix's most played champions. You've noted this.
yeah,
Together with Lee Sin and Graves, these are basically the jungle champions that he opts for the most. And I feel like this is definitely something very, very comfortable for him. And Kali Aurelia banned away from
interesting.
US.
That is
I don't know if I guess Akali most definitely is a targeted ban.
Yeah, I
Irelia as
think this
well.
is against
Side?
Hieri.
Yeah,
He
sorry,
he, he
here,
does yeah, he does play Aurelia and Akali over here, and these are respect bans against him. And on the converse, Syndra Ornn, I don't know about the Ornn ban because you guys, I mean, the draft of UST already has that Trundle to count, sort of a soft counter this Ornn, but I guess they're really not comfortable playing against that. But Vladimir is actually, uh, it's a good pick for me because it ensures that when things do escalate and get prolonged into late game, nandiyan naman yung Vladimir
pick
to
up the
be that
slack.
team fight, the team fight monster that he is now. It's a good rounder for
Excited
their
for
team.
the final two picks for UST because this will basically cement which roles they're
Okay.
going for.
Okay, so Jana support and Pike mid or top. We'll have to see. But wait, I mean, can Jana be flexed? I've seen people do it. I've seen Jana mid
Oh,
and top, but oh,
might have been a mistake. As we see, not sure what happened. Oh, DC. So disconnect from the lobby here. Let's just have to remake it. But I don't know if that Jana was the confirmed pick, but if it is, yeah, that's good.
it
That's
it
good.
is.
Like, would Jana would Jana being flexed be viable? Because I don't think it is,
I don't
but
think
there
so
is a
because
chance.
there is a chance, but I mean the other team has yet to lock in their mid laner, and like picking Jana blind for her to be flexed is kind of weird for me. So
Yeah,
perhaps
they're gonna be bot lane.
yeah, I don't
Oh
know.
no, it's
So
not a
we do have
so it was wrong
yeah,
pick,
we do
Jana.
have confirmation that yeah, it was just the auto pick coming in because of the DC. Okay, so we should be getting back shortly, but for now, again, this is AcadArena Rivalries, and we do have FIT and UST squaring up against each other, 1-1 right now. It's a best of
One
five.
right. It is worth noting that whichever org, UST Teletigers or FIT iTamaraws, wins this best of five relay, they will be receiving a they will be able to hold an exclusive skin giveaway. I don't know the
Ooh.
details of how many skins and what rarity of skins, but uh, it's definitely gonna be, I mean, notable enough to form or to send three of your teams in a relay, right? So just look
Yeah.
out for after everything, after all of the matches today, or after all of the games today. Just watch out for any more news from either UC Teletigers or FIT iTamaraws, and of course, uh, anything from Esports AcadArena SocMed or AcadArena.com. So, yeah, really exciting to see how all of this will play out.
Yeah, really excited as well. But as we kind of wait for the players to get back and get ready, you mentioned a while ago, Hyron, the
Mhm.
winner of this series, the organization that these players are part of, will get to have an exclusive skin giveaway, right? When I heard the word skin, I was like, okay, skin, traditional character skins. But have you personally ever been interested in buying those like ward skins?
You know, my days of spending on League are over. But me from 4 years ago or 3 years ago probably would.
Really, ward skins?
Yeah, ward skins, because wards are such an important part of the game, right? Like, of course,
True.
skins like normal skins are like every you see it, but uh, ward skins. What's so important about ward skins is that if you're playing the vision game correctly and the enemy's playing the vision game correctly, uh, they will be able to see your ward skin even if they can't see your character, even if they can't see your champion, and that's another way of
Oh, that's true.
express yourself at every stage of the game.
That's
'Cause-
true. So in a certain sense, it's more visible than your. It could be if you're a jungler
right?
main.
Yeah,
If you're a
especially if you're
jungle main, yeah, yeah.
and later in
It's
the
kind
game,
of
you probably unless you're like split pushing, you don't want or pressuring mid. You don't want them to know where you are. Anyway,
Yeah. I don't know.
any weird
I just thought about it because I personally prioritize getting those champion skins and stuff, and
champion skins are always gonna be the premium, but
yeah,
ward
that's true.
skins are pretty good too. I wouldn't
Hey,
complain of from free ward skin from a
free ward
giveaway from
skin.
here FIT.
And so we are actually
You're playing through
back
the
into
Good to
mm,
know.
we are playing through the original pick and ban drafts that both teams have secured for themselves, the picks. I mean, up until that Jana pick. Again, that Jana pick was incorrect. It was a result of the auto pick feature in case someone DCs. So,
I'm still very excited
uh,
the final two
true.
pick.
So Vladimir here, we've seen this. So what will be the response of Hayes here? UST Hayes,
Maokai.
Maokai getting hovered.
That gives us a
This is
better idea of final comp chart.
okay. Yeah.
And
I mean,
Maokai,
Maokai support. Here we go. Wait, but there's no
what
sin. So,
happening? Well,
Corky Top. I used to play Corky Top.
okay, but you know, this
But
is
okay, I mean,
does it
I
give
think
us a better idea of what comp they're going for?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Corky mid, Lucian,
Yeah.
ADC, Maokai top, Trundle, Jungle, and Pike support. Pretty sure.
This does
Pretty
give
sure.
them a lot of once again, since they have two marksmen, they do have a lot of power later in the game. They have a decent front line um, with Maokai and I guess in some ways Trundle. But this is definitely something that wants to win fights super fast compared to say Vlad, Nico, MF. They have this initial burst that they could potentially have, but then they need to be able to clean that up with the sustained damage from the Vladimir and MF crits.
Yeah, that is true. I agree with you, Hyron. And additionally, I feel like in terms of the split push, playing the map a bit more spread, I kind of have to give it to UST's draft here. We have the Pike that can roam from lane to lane. Lucian and Corgi can both split push, and whichever tower that they choose to play for, Maokai and Trundle will just be there to keep whoever the damage source will be coming from safe. So we'll have to see if they're able to execute that, or what form of other macro they pull out from their hat. I mean, it's game three, so I don't think either team is gonna be reserved na in
Mhm.
terms of like what they can
Basically, the
show. I
turning
mean,
point.
yeah, turning point. That is true. But in terms of late game, I think both teams have their respective threats. Vladimir, MF, even Nico, late game is pretty. It's a force to be reckoned with, especially if he can get that really big Nico ult, just as Vlad can get that really big Vlad ult. I mean, those things swing team fights a lot. But in terms of like consistent DPS, like you said, mas straightforward, mas steady yung pace ng team fight na hinahanap ng team ng UST.
Mhm.
So there's still that subtle difference. So again, it all boils down to execution. It's game three, so I'm sure both teams would really try their best to refrain from committing any more unforced errors. And both teams really want to be playing according to their win conditions, their strength. So
At
yeah,
this point,
I'm very excited.
like we said earlier, it's a turning point. At this, if you lose, your back's already to the wall. Like the first two games, they are important, but they basically set the stage for how the rest of the match will play out. Once you're at two losses, that's just uh, too risky to misplay, too risky to misdraft, and
Uh-huh.
it's just gonna make it so that there's a lot of pressure on these third teams.
That is true. And again, like as we mentioned a while ago, whoever wins this game, it means it's not yet over for whoever loses this game because this is a best of five. But for the fourth game, both teams have to declare which of their three teams will be participating. So pwede nang umulit kasi after this game, lahat na ng teams nakapaglaro. So I mean, they can't really pull a fourth team out of thin air. So there's gonna be a repeat unless
Yeah.
unless
Pero yung maglalaro sa fourth game, hindi pwede maglaro sa fifth. Yeah, that, uh,
and I think it's interesting because both organizations have that one sole challenger player. So I kind of want to see if both of them
will face off
will
against
face off in the fourth game or
each other.
yeah.
Since Tenebria is a freshman, he's first year. Set is fourth year. So that's also another like the two challengers facing off against each other. And they're also at the opposite ends of the seniority spectrum in terms of university. I think that's an interesting matchup or face off. Make it happen.
First year challenger. That's pretty impressive. Huh?
Mhm.
When was your peak Hiron when you used to
Can't I just say
play?
I've always been rock bottom?
Hey man, we've all we all of us have a peak. I think.
I think. Like, is this academically or in the
no, I'm talking about League of Legends,
League?
but
I probably peaked like season. When was the season I was jungling? Probably season like 3 to 5. That was my peak.
3 to 5. Oh,
God,
I
that was
see.
5 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Season 10 na nga pala tayo, by the way. Time
God.
flies so fast. So fast. Oh
Yeah.
man. It kind of takes me back to memory lane as well, but I don't even think season 3 to 5. I'm not even sure how many of these players who are in this game right now were playing already back then. I don't know, but yeah. Well,
Now I just
that's,
feel. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Constantly evolving game, league. And these players, new players, or even players that have been. If you imagine it, someone who's senior high or someone who's first year college, if he's reduce that by 10 years of league, right? Like how old are like college freshmen? Like 17? So they would have been 7 when league released.
No, I don't think that. Probably they wouldn't have been playing when they were 7 years old. But
like just to put it into perspective.
yeah, that's true. But
how
I,
old
for one, I mean, my mom told me that I started to play. I started to type on the keyboard when I was 3. So
okay, so little
anyway,
short
we
pause.
we
have
we
loaded
loaded
onto
into
the riff here for our third game today at Esports AcadArena Rivals UST Teletigers team Hayes, I believe, Team Hayes in the blue side versus Team Elyses from FIT on the red side.
So many pings coming down. Like, what is this? Like, okay, so it looks like it's a wall coming in from Elyses here. Both teams actually looking to wall, but they do spot each other out. Saints Shin Yuna. Is this a K-pop idol? I'm not sure.
Shin Yuna Owo.
Yeah, there is an Owo, so
okay.
that tells me it's a possibility of it being an idol reference. I don't know.
I think it is K-pop. I don't know this group. How do you pronounce this? ITZY? Whatever.
That ward though.
Ooh, 10
so
gold.
First blood award, 10 gold.
Just to confirm, are we on 110 right now? 111, 112? Because I accidentally paused my client.
We're at 117, 18, 19,
right.
20.
I'm in sync. My bad. All right, so Not a lot of action except for that early ward. It is going to deny a little bit of vision there, so it seems like they will expand an additional ward to prevent anyone from interfering. But yeah, this is third game. Let's see. Someone might be going for something cheeky
Ooh.
here. Pull. Oh, does not pull it over the wall. Thanks for the leash, guy.
Okay, so I mean, what this gives the team of the team of FIT here is the same XP advantage. So I feel that Tenzai will be level 2 first, much sooner. But then Nathan and Salty will be level 2 at the same time, but at the normal pace. So we have to see if they actually take advantage of this.
Let's see though. It seems like they're really aggressively trying to go for the clears here. But like I said, Nathan and Salty, they will be getting the level 2 first. They don't get an opportunity to capitalize on that. But this does mean that Saints has to back off until that ranged minion wave is in range.
Yeah, that is true, and I do notice that both junglers are pathing on towards opposite sides of the map. I'm really curious to see what has planned, because ganking of Vlad lane, it's not, there's no hard CC there for Vlad. Ganking a Corki can just easily Valkyrie out, so I'm pretty curious what his plans are.
It's a pretty tough lane for Saints to get the hooks in. Of course, because of the passive from the MF makes it so much easier to dodge skill shots. Lots of damage coming in
Ooh,
from
nice. That was
Stig,
nice.
though. Yeah, Stig. Saints hasn't been having like a good time hitting those.
Yeah, his hook percentage starting out a little bit cold right now, but hopefully he gets things heated up a bit later. Scuttle is being traded by the junglers, one each. So
Not a lot of action.
mean-
so
yeah, I feel like okay, Root comes in again from Leas. Take their damage too. Wow.
damn. And Lestig has been pretty safe. Every time he goes for a trade with Gary, make sure to always get out of dodge immediately, making sure that the phosphorus bomb doesn't catch him. And however, both of them do have corrupting pots.
Yeah, so okay, so TP though being expended here by Hieri, so that is a win in my books,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Lestig was able to dish out really good poke, really good harass. So that's one thing that FIT has
Call being
gotten
picked up
for
here
them.
for Hieri. I guess both of them feel. I guess Hieri feels that. Ooh, Salty getting left behind with his 80 carry. Can they take advantage of this? They don't have any more CC after that, but they can delay this Brahms recall for a little bit longer. And back to the earlier point, I think Hieri feels that the both junglers are kind of lukewarm in the early phases of the game, and this does give him the freedom, the breathing room, the privilege to buy call.
Yeah, and it's better actually for Shinyun on the Trundle, because as opposed to Lee Sen, who kind of wants to be exerting a lot of pressure early on in the game, Trundle just, wala pa siya masyadong ginagawa. More of yung functionality niya in team fights, yung value niya. That's where you kind of
He's
see
fine
his
with
value.
farming to sticks in this case.
Yeah. But still makes his keeping pace with him when it comes to farm. Both of them are doing the same, but mo bot lane yung focus ng map control right now for both junglers, and baka
Seems like they're really
mag-converge
prepping for that first Drake.
Yeah. Oh,
Ooh, could be in danger though. Bone Square misses
Nice.
once again. Saint is not having a fun time. Pillar comes through. Nesting's clone will be sent forward, but I think this is just going to be the end of a bloodless skirmish as both teams will just try and return to their previous activities. Infernal Drake, the target here. Very, very squishy Drake. This could mean a lot of trouble here for UST. Bone Square does come through. Salty is the one that gets pushed though. Astig almost gets a huge pop blossom, but Tenzai gets taken down. The Infernal Drake gets stolen. Shin Yuna gets out as well. And Migs is popping off inside, trying to go for a last kill onto God and Nathan, but the healing goes through, the shield goes through, and this is gonna be a big win for FIT.
That was a really good decision by FIT to actually hook
He's gonna
lands
get
by
hooked
Saints
over as
Flash.
well. Saint stepping up. He
Yeah,
heard us.
finally. Oh, lukewarm, umiinit na yung kanyang kutsilyo. Pero back to what I was saying, the early TP on Corki was expended, yeah. And then inside on that Maokai decided to TP in at a point where I feel his TP shouldn't have been used yet. So they were stuck there in the Dragon Pit with the mindset
And
na
Pearl
okay,
Drake
all
deals
five
a
of us
lot of
were
damage.
there. Yeah, but then FIT was there too and they could just collapse on them.
I think that Pearl
So
Drake was very greedy. Like
mm,
taking the call to take that, even if they have a lot of damage onto the Infernal Drake, and then Infernal Drake is the squishiest Drake. There's just a lot of ways that FIT could disrupt that.
yeah, that is true. But things even out still. It's 12k to 12k, almost the same right now, and no significant lead being generated yet. But Vlad seems like he's a bit ahead of this Maokai when it comes to the scaling game. He was left alone at top for 10-20 seconds before he decided to TP to that dragon. But we see here
Migs.
Migs actually. Hindi ko alam kung na-spot siya nung pink ward na yun. Kasi, nandiyan siya sa,
I think they know. I think that control ward should have vision over that area.
yeah, I think
They
so
are
too.
gonna
But
go in for a 3v3 here though in the bot lane. Saints once again taking a lot of damage. Gonna get stunned. Gonna get taken out by Mix. Kicked away. It's gonna be Shin Yuna. Bullet time comes through. Pop Blossom just barely being dodged by Tenzai, but here comes Scary as well. Going over with a Valkyrie to get the kill.
it was golden.
Unfortunately, he doesn't actually get the kill. Megs goes golden time.
And,
Gets his revenge against Corky.
Migs.
Oh man.
Migs.
He got
Wow.
hard. Thierry
He
got
got-
debated hard there.
He
with
got
Megs.
baited so hard by that stopwatch. That was a really... Oh my gosh,
Waits
though.
here, possibly even a kill onto Tenzai.
Okay, so...
FIT establishing a lead.
Yeah, that was a full-on win right there for FIT. I guess they did not see actually Migs sneaking down to that bottom lane brush. Because if they did, I feel like Saints wouldn't have just run in like that.
They wouldn't have taken that 3v3.
Yeah, so interesting pathing. I guess he used the alcove right there to circumvent that ward, that pink ward, and now he is busy with his Rift Herald and Jantino has lane prio.
1 and 1 Lee Sin. That's setting up
That's
to a
scary.
Yep, incredibly scary early game.
So,
don't
sinasabi
think
natin sinasabi natin kanina parang lukewarm lang yung start ng both junglers. 0-0 to 5-1 really quick.
And that all started from that questionable dragon call in the bot lane by UST. Like, yeah, they didn't really have a place trying to take that Infernal Drake, considering how there wasn't really too much pressure across the map.
Yeah, that's true. But things aren't over. Things are far from over for as far as this game is concerned. As we see a bit of trading up top, both of these guys have all in coming in.
All in coming in inside does have a lot of magic resist here. Jantino with his back against the wall here. Can he go for an empowered transfusion? Has to use it on a minion, and this is gonna be a relatively even trade for both of these guys.
Yeah, both ults being expended. No flashes being used as well. That was a I don't know how to call it, but parang ang smooth ng all-in na nangyari. Parang wala masyadong action. Like, just HV being slowly traded. It's going with the waves.
Well, both of them do have their own ways of healing mid-combat.
Yeah.
Plus, they They do have a little bit of defensive stats, especially inside. Who has that Negatron Cook?
Yeah, things coming in though for this second Drake of the game. It's gonna be an Ocean Drake, and mukhang nakapwesto na si Migs dito. So, I think he's looking for a gank first. He does have his ult up, and I don't
Exerting
think
a
he
lot of
can
pressure in
spot
the
that.
bot
Okay,
lane.
so it's a Herald play.
Go for the Herald. This will actually, I think, secure the first turret of the game here. Potentially full plate value.
It's a really good Unbreakable coming in
Oh,
from
they won't be able to
round
get to
2.
the turret, but this does give them a lot of time to set up this Drake. Saints and Tenzai trailing from behind the bot lane river here.
Yeah, and still they're still not pulling the trigger for this Drake. They still want to look for something more, a bigger
Ooh,
advantage.
forcing the
Okay,
package.
so I guess that was the plan, to like try and wait for the Corki package to expire first, or to be used first before actually going for the
That's
Drake.
one of the big ways they can get disrupted doing this Ocean Drake.
Hmm. So now they do feel safe. However,
Fairly quickly. Lestig waiting around the wings here, missing the snare onto Shin Yuna, but he is giving him enough time for them to secure from the back line. Look at that. That is going to be the Drake secured by FIT. Now they are on the run here. Two of them get rooted, and this is huge for Jantino as he dives into his pool of blood, and the rivers run red. As double kill goes onto this Vladimir inside, trying to get a final kill onto the Nico. Will get it. Salty now on the run. No mana to try to escape. No friends around to help him as well. Has to
Ooh, that
flash
flash.
over. Could potentially be dangerous because of the turret shot, but he does back off just in time. And Migs and Jantino pivot this into some plates in the mid lane.
yeah, I was pretty sure that the Drake would be secured by Migs. He was 5-1 prior to that team fight. But I thought that I really thought that FIT would lose because Anathan got picked off really early, but hold on for a second there.
Look at that. Can he survive this? Gets pulled. Can he get a safeguard over? He does. And Jantino makes it out alive. No deaths just yet.
Yeah, so good job surviving that mini skirmish there as God and Nathan looks to take down this first turret of the game at bot. I guess that Rift Herald investment was actually it turned out to be pretty fruitful.
Yeah, full value there.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. That
Going
fight,
back to that dragon fight, I thought that FIT would lose because Anathan died right away, but okay,
here again,
last
big feeling doing a
one
lot
for
of work.
one here. Yeah.
You have to understand that Shin Yuna was stalled for so long because of Lestig's huge pop awesome. And that basically paved the way, together with Anathan's bullet time. Even though it wasn't an ideal spot to bullet time from, it did soften them just enough so that when Jantino dove in, that was a super good setup there for Jantino.
Yeah, I have to give it to Leastig and Jantino. Leastig for setting up that Vladimir flank really well. He was able to use his ult to root.
Root all of them as well.
That's
So,
true.
yeah,
So
going strong
that's
here for FIT.
kind of shows that FIT LICs they know how to execute their team comp quite well here, and we have yet to see an ideal team fight to be orchestrated by UST's team, but it's still early in the game, and Corki, Yarion Corki has yet to scale. Inside has yet to become a tank, so we'll still have to see.
It's coming up to that point where Jantino or Inside actually can fight back against Jantino, especially if he has the support of Saints here. But it seems like they don't get the initial bone skewer, and this gives enough time for Migs to try and intervene. This could be trouble for Inside if they don't spot this out. They know that Salty and Nathan are coming. Will they pull the
Yeah.
trigger onto this top lane?
The
Doesn't
gold
seem-
lead right now is actually 5k in favor of LICs here for FUIT, so it's pretty big, given that it's only 16 minutes in to this game, and they do have already secured the mid and bottom lane outer tower, and Herald is still up for the taking. So I expect both teams to be converging onto the top side of the map sooner than later.
Mm.
But
It's gonna be quite
mukhang,
an important objective here, especially with both mid lane turrets. I believe are still up. Wait, I can
I
confirm.
think
Oh
the
no,
mid
sorry,
lane
the mid lane turret of Hieri is already down, but this could potentially still be since all of the other turrets are still up uh, for FIT. This that could be a very important objective for them to take. However, FIT is already taking them, and I don't think they have any chance of contesting or even trading for another objective.
yeah, I mean the dragon the Drake's spawn time isn't really it doesn't coincide with
Mhm.
that of the rift, but we do see that mukhang sila Astig dito iniikutan, pero EST Saints decides to not go over the wall and take some turret hits to try and get that pick over at the bot side. But
Things coming in on the inner
yeah,
turret of mid
mid
lane.
lane.
They will be summoning the Rift Herald, so they could just be brute forcing this. The other members are a couple seconds away. They could just go straight for the turret. Look at
PP.
that. TP coming in. A package from behind, but the Glacial Official will ensure that God and Nathan gets a full channel of the bullet time. Migs comes in from downtown, takes him out. Gary and Saints misses the death from below. Saints once again almost getting taken down, and here Migs, uh, he's been disrupting the backline of UST this whole time. Gary gets the shutdown. However, that's still gonna be the turret, and that's still gonna be 3 kills on the side of FIT.
Yeah, that's true. Good job
Top lane, taking
by
care of that top
yeah.
lane.
Okay, so we'll see if they manage to take down the top lane tower. Dragon is already up for the taking. I feel like Carry will be able to trade this for the mid tier 1. But yeah, good job by FIT for playing that team fight really well, especially Migs. He stayed alive. And he even got a kill onto Tenzai.
Mhm.
So
Basically, with the
really
lead that he amassed, that allows him to enable the rest of his teammates because he's such a deadly force that the backline has no choice but to deal with him, which leaves Jantino and Nathan enough time to work from the front to the back.
yeah, that's very much true. But right now, uh Corky, Yarion Corky just coming from base. He already has his 2 core items completed. His Mana Moon has yet to turn into Muramana, but still, this is a power spike already on Corky as this Drake is looking to go down, but
Immediately pulls the trigger there. 2 kills immediately to FIT. They took the chance immediately, and now it's gonna be inside. He's sleeping with the fishes down here in the river, and that's
mm,
just brutal coming in from FIT.
yeah, I feel that Hayes was a bit unsure whether to contest that Drake or not, because if they were sure, they would have played more compact and not have gotten really ulted by Nico. But good job by Leastic for finding
No
that
follow up though.
incredible ult.
And
And
Safeguard
chasing
easily been
tower.
out of trouble. The inhib should get taken down. Jantino still a super deadly force to the top side. A hook. A bone sewer comes through for Nathan, but once again, no follow-up. They will try and pull the trigger here, though. However, if the stun doesn't come through, Salty can just jump back to safety, and here comes Jantino once again, diving deep, making everything turn, painting the town red. Inside, left alone to the devices of Salty and Migs. This tree gets kicked down, and inhib get destroyed left and right. I think this could be the game if Harry falls. But the transfusion's coming through. Can he get that last transfusion before before the empowerment comes out? But no, I think it's just gonna be the next getting taken down by FIT at barely 21 minutes.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
breathtaking.
Yeri trying his best there, but to no avail. He did play well on his corgi, but that Vladimir, I have to say, as
Yeah,
well as Migs on that Lee Sin, it
I
was
think
pretty devastating.
yeah, the early kills there going on to Migs. sneaky in the bot side, and especially that early dragon take. I think that was the where everything went downhill for UST when they decided to take that first Infernal Drake. That gave the avenue for Migs to snowball out of control. And once he got all of his damage items, that allowed him to wreck the back line while the rest of his team works the front line. And by the time that Migs is dead, he's done his job. He's weakened the back line enough that the Vladimir and MF can just clean them up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He didn't even die. So, I mean,
Yeah,
that's even more to it. But looking at the bigger picture, right now the score stands 2-1 in favor of FIT. And what does this mean? It means UST. I think that they need
backs
to
to the
send
wall.
in their challenger player for this next game. I think.
I think so. I think so. But then again, at this point, FIT has the privilege of also choosing their own team for fourth game. We might be able to see the challenger versus challenger matchup that we wanted. But
Yeah.
yeah, at this point, UST has their backs to the wall here. And you know the saying, an animal that's cornered is way deadlier than you think. I think that's not how the saying goes
The
exactly, but
actual
you get
saying.
the
But
idea,
I get it.
right?
It does make a lot
This
of
is the
sense.
time for the UST's sub teams or sister, no, not this other teams to step up and unleash the predator within them.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
that
that
is
has
true.
been the
And
third game we have for today's Esports AcadArena Rivals. We've been your shoutcasters. I'm Hyron. With me was Berserk, and we'll be seeing you next game for Team B versus Team Mist. Ciao.
I'm flying back with the curse singing, stereo ringing. Nothing out there's gonna take me down 'cause I'm flying. I'm flying. Can I let you back into my mind? Get all of your things. Come on back to life. I can be a little safety valve. Watch the sun come up as we fall down. You can be my little safety valve. Watch the sun come up as we fall down. Focus, just focus on me. Focus, just wanting things. I'm in the back of the car singing, stereo ringing. Nothing out there's gonna take me down 'cause I'm flying. Yeah, I'm flying. Back of the car singing, stereo ringing. Nothing out there's gonna take me down 'cause I'm flying. I'm flying.
Remember the summer that we fell in love was such a pretty thing. I never had a night where I would miss your touch, but that was over soon. Somewhere along the line, all was lost. The fire in your bright 'Cause the bad part of me brings the dark side of you. It's not easy, it's not easy. Been trying to leave, but I'm bound to the knees. It ain't easy, it ain't easy for me. November, the month that we fell out of love, is now so obvious. Cold winter, I'd sleep on my floor all alone. Yeah, I was feeling numb. If I could roll back time, would I choose you? To stare into those
Bruh, we
bright
copy strike
eyes
after
across that room. 'Cause the bad part of me brings the dark side of you. It's not easy, it's not easy. I managed to leave, but I'm bound at the knees. It ain't